And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the StarCraft Evolution League Code A number 2. I'm of course Joseph VIP. With me I'm joined by these amazing players, by the video chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to something a little bit different here. StarCraft Evolution, of course, is a mod in StarCraft 2 that blends together Brood War and StarCraft 2 together as one, pits them against each other, and of course is actively being worked on, actively being patched, actively being balanced. But this is the Code A edition. Essentially, this is a more limited version. The top of the top players cannot compete in this tournament, so players like Shin, like Dark, like Beyond, like Hero, they're going to be left out in favor of some more up-and-coming players as well, or instead. So Code A essentially, Code A of SEL. Currently, this was a monthly tournament, but starting this month, I believe we are planning, or I say we, Hyper One is planning to host this on a bi-weekly basis every fortnight. So every fortnight we have SEL Code A, and then on the alternating fortnights, I believe there's going to be StarCraft Evolution League proper as well. So back and forth, Code A, and of course StarCraft Evolution League proper, so we can have a more regular kind of tournament series, always ongoing over the weekend when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, alongside Kung Fu Cup as well, alongside StarCraft Evolution King of the Hill, which is still a monthly, I believe, still a monthly. So yeah, it's really cool to see, and shout out to Hyper One for investing even more into these tournaments and making them more regular, and of course having something for these players to compete in as well, especially those that are still up and coming, those that are still a little bit lower ranked, that want to try to level up and break into the upper echelons, into that pro scene. So really cool to see. When it comes to our matches here tonight, we have our top 8. We have our round of 8 here, as we switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself. Here we go. From the top we have Prome versus Greenert. Prome, of course, being our South Korean Protoss player. Greenert from the land of Canada as well. Greenert, he is listed as Terran, but I believe he does play random if he plays Brood War. So Greenert, he does race switch and race swap every now and then, playing Protoss or playing Zerg or playing Terran. So we'll see what races he ends up playing. Scrolling down, we have Gunner versus DeWalt. Gunner, more of an amateur player. DeWalt, I believe, if I remember correctly, did place quite highly last time, doing a lot of cannon rushes. Like, I remember DeWalt being very cheesy in his approach, so we'll see if that cheese continues coming into this. Scrolling down, we have Zardiant versus Mang Russell. Once again, I believe Zardiant does alternate between Terran and Protoss. I believe SE2 Terran and Brood War Protoss, if I'm not mistaken, for Zardiant. That's typically how he does approach this, against Mang Russell in the first round. Mang Russell's more of an amateur Korean player. I haven't casted a lot of Mang Russell, I'll be honest. Like, he's been showing up in some of these tournaments, showing up in some of these brackets in StarCraft Evolution League, but I often don't get a chance to cover his matches, so I'm excited to see how he compares against Zardiant. I rate Zardiant quite highly. Scrolling down, we have Kot versus Reality. Reality is a name that I haven't seen in a very long time. Reality used to compete in our tournaments. He used to compete in our Masters 1 Open like 2-3 years ago. Like, it's been a long time, but Reality, he's a player near and dear to my heart, so I was very excited and very surprised to see him again, here in many years later. Not in StarCraft 2, but in StarCraft 2 Evolution. So yeah, really excited to see Reality again. We'll see how well he can perform. Kot is the runner-up. Kot, he is last week's or last edition's runner-up. Did make it to second place by cheesing the hell out of everyone. We had some short games, I'll be honest. Like, Kot, I don't think he ever got into like a mid game or a macro game at all. Like, it was all hyper aggression, it was all in. So that's what we expect out of Kot. Also, I should also mention, Prome is the number 1, he's the reigning champion. So Prome is the number 1 seed, Kot is the number 2 seed. So that makes sense why for this tournament they're split up. You know, number 1 and number 2 from the previous edition. We'll see if they face off again in the finals, or if we have someone else kind of rise up and stop them. A lot of Terran, a lot of Protoss, not as much Zerg. I mentioned that Greenert might play a little bit of Zerg. He might play some random. So fingers crossed on that one. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. Just catching up. Nice, some A, B tier pros instead of the S tier. Yeah. It's a great way to just, again, like, support those that are still like leveling up and they're still looking to improve, that maybe can't necessarily compete with players like, you know, your Bjorns and your Heroes and your Waynes and your Yang Yakovs, for example, but strong players nonetheless, and a way to help them, to help motivate them to compete and motivate them to improve, for sure. Oh, the haircut. Oh, thank you. Do you do King of the Hill with the evolution mod? Yes, there is a King of the Hill. There is a StarCraft Illusion King of the Hill as well. That is a monthly. We have covered it for the past 4 months. The VODs are on YouTube. Sorry, for the past 3 months. I believe the 4th edition is coming up. Let me just double check. Wait, let me check our calendar. Or did we cast that last week? Sorry, we have covered the first 4 editions. The 4th one was last week, and the 5th edition is, I think, next week actually. So it's coming soon, TM. So yeah, it's a monthly though, so not too regular, but it's a fun kind of format nonetheless. These purely best of ones, King of the Hill, a lot of fun. But yes, that's on StarCraft Illusion. But with that, we are getting into our first series of the broadcast. First, we're going to be jumping into our PvT between Prome and Greeners. We're going to be working down from the top. Also, I should actually fix the title of the tournament. I guess this one was the last monthly. True. This was the last monthly before we switched to fortnightly tournament. But here we go. We're jumping on in to our TVZ. Sorry, TVP. Oh, and I did mention how one of our players here does actually alternate between races at times, and yes, we're not jumping into a Protoss versus Terran, we're jumping into a Protoss versus Protoss. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have our teal Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss. From the land of Canada, it is Greenert. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the SE2 Protoss. He is the reigning champion of the StarCraft Illusion League Code A. It is Prome. We go. Again, Prome, he is one of the stronger players in South Korea when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. I say stronger players, yes, this is Code A, but I guess it shows maybe how much of a gap there is between some of the upper echelon of players. Like, when I think of the top Protoss players, I think of Hero, I think of Rebellion, and just below them, I think of players like Ateshi and then Prome. Right, like I think I would place Prome around the level of Ateshi when it comes to like the Korean Protoss scene. So still strong nonetheless. I mean, again, there's a reason why he was the reigning champion of the previous SEL Code A. As Greener, he does scout towards top side. Greener does find his opponent immediately. Prome has yet to probe scout, so no probe scouts. Prome does not know the location of his opponents. For those that are curious, welcome to Sylphid. Sylphid is a 3-player spawn map, 3 possible spawn locations. So you do not exactly know immediately where your opponent is. Not immediately. Greener's poking back in. Again, 2-gate opener out of Prome. Greener's likewise 2-gate opener as well. So far, in a sense, mirrored builds. From here, we can now expand. Prome will have the option to be a little bit more aggressive, but he throws out his second pylon in the main base, so he's not proxying. No proxy, nothing out on the map. Everything is so far looking as it should. Well, we're settling it. SEL Masters, though, on the 11th. Yeah, there we go. But yes. King of the Hill is a monthly, and all the other 2 events, Code A and the, of course, regular tournaments are fortnightly events. All right, I forgot SEL Masters on the 11th. Let's go. Have the players for that been announced? StarCraft Evolution Masters, for those that are curious, is a show match. It's typically a best of 7 show match, I want to say, which I believe is also a monthly kind of showcase of top players. I don't know if the players have been announced for that yet, but exciting stuff nonetheless. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. There you go. So now we do open up a double Dragoon. Greener to moving out. Likewise, double Stalker here out of Prome. Greener being very assertive here with his initial Dragoons. Oh, and he's gonna get caught. Yeah, he does overextend. The first Dragoon is gonna go down. Brutal pickoff, and now we're going for another Dragoon. We're going for the second. And it's not gonna be worth it for Greener. Greener losing 2 Dragoons immediately here. He gets punished, has to fall back, and Prome does have some momentum going his way. now moving out, and I had expected Probe to expand from here, but what do we see? We see a third gateway and a probe across the map. We're setting up for a proxy. We're setting up for what looks to be a 1 base 4 gates all in. Oh boy. Now this does hit a little bit later than your typical proxy, than your typical all in, as the gateway is going to be more delayed as well. Jesus. Throwing down multiple pylons. Shield battery is done. Probe, upon seeing this, he might decide to deviate away here. I mean, he still has the option to expand if he so chose to, but for now, he's still committing. And there it is. There's the 4th gateway. So 4 gates, 1 base, all in. Let's go. Can he break Greenert? Greenert's still amassing more Dragoons. Again, he's got that 1 shield battery. Now, the problem here is that Greenert doesn't know how committed this is. Greenert, he didn't see... Sorry, oh, my apologies. I thought that was the 3rd gateway. Blink is on the way. I just thought it was going to be 4 gates. Sorry, 1 base, 3 gate... No, wait. There was a 4th gateway. 1 base, 4 gate, Blink all in. I didn't notice the Blink, so Blink is on the way. But again, Greenert, he didn't see the additional gateway. He doesn't know if there's an expansion. He does see the proxy, though. The observer did see. He did notice. He's aware. More shield batteries on the way. So let's get into the main. Are these shield batteries going to be done in time? Will it even matter? As he does have his robo, but no robotics bay, no reavers, just pure Dragoon. And it's going to be 13 versus 8. Probe blinks in, he can one-shot. Yeah, it takes out 1, 2, 3 Dragoons going to be going down. The one-shot potential is brutal here, and he's just going to one-shot everything. Going to one-shot everything towards the end. Now down to 11 Stalkers, and that's it. That's going to be game. As he just bursts down every single Dragoon. GG gets called. Prome snowballs out of control, and Prome will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, it took a little bit too long for Greener to recognize exactly what was going on. Did have to wait for his robo, for his observer to get full confirmation. There are definitely other ways where he could have tried to have confirmed what exactly was happening when it comes to a probe scout, whether it was hidden out on the map or even moving out just to check what was going on just outside. Unfortunately, it took a little bit too long there. He had no potential, or I should say he had no tech to go into reavers. He was stuck on pure Dragoon, stuck on those shield batteries as well. As you saw towards the end, didn't matter. We could one-shot even through and pass the shield battery. GG. GG, well played. With that, Prome, he will take a lead in the series, and now we are getting into game number 2. Let's go. Hyper's been a little bit busy. Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, look, the 11th is still, you know, almost 2 weeks away. Oh, wait, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. As we are going to be alternating races here, alternating game modes. Here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Bloody Ridge. Yo, I forgot that we play on this map. We have our StarCraft 2 Terran player, the Teal Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. For Born Gosu, it is Greenert. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Brutal Protoss. It is Prome for among SE2 people. We go. And welcome one and all to Bloody Ridge. Bloody Ridge is a 2-player spawn map, so there's no RNG factor coming into play when it comes to searching and looking for your opponent. The natural base is somewhat secure. I say somewhat. Of course, my biggest issue here is if you want to be aggressive, there is a massive cliff face here covering the natural, thankfully not covering the mineral line. The mineral line is safe, but the wall off here, the production, the setup at the natural is not. So depending on how aggressive you are, you can take advantage of that cliff face. Likewise, the third is a little more isolated, is a lot more, yeah, isolated, probably the best way to put it here. Likewise, the fourth base is insanely out of the way as well. So expanding, getting to a longer game can be quite difficult here. We'll see how aggressive our players plan on being, as so far, 2-gate opener once again from Prome. 2-gate opener here, covering that ramp. From here, we can look to expand and get into a longer game state. I know that we had a 1-base all in game 1, but here we should be getting into a longer game instead. At least I would hope so. Meanwhile, single gas, so ranks expand, economic opener out of Greenert. Going for a CC. As the probe is going to be forced back. Behind this backup pylon. Command center is spotted. Prone being as annoying as possible, the Marine will zone away and Green Earth will expand. So again, economic opener out of Green Earth behind this going for his reactor. Meanwhile, back at home, Prone should likewise be expanding as well. Initially making his Dragoons. Oh, never mind. Okay. As he does set up a proxy across the map for now, does start up his own Dragoon range. Probe is in position and show us that pylon. There it is. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the initial zealot has arrived. Takes down the SCV. Not bad, delaying the bunker. Does delay the bunker, looking to delay the CC, forcing a reaction. Boys are being pulled. And again, this is all just a big distraction. This is all just buying time for what? For the Dragoons and for the proxy. As does take down two SCVs. Two SCVs do fall. Prone does pull away. Oh, so far nice kiting, but he will be shut down by the workers. The boys, they shut it down, but the bunker's not yet done. And the bunker may never finish. It's going to be close here. The bunker, actually, we ignore the bunker. We just go for the Marine. Bunker does complete. One Marine will dive in. Whew. Does dive in time. So far, Green Earth, he's holding the line. Third gateway is on the way. But I say third gate, fourth gateway. So it's going to be... hey, remember earlier I said one base, four gate all in? Well, it's happening here. Last game, of course, Blink was involved. Here, there is no Blink, but there is a Dragoon range. I didn't remember Prone being too cheesy last edition, last month. But at least here, that's all changing. It's all changing, Pappy. Oh, no. Not like this. As Dragoons are going to be waddling in. More Dragoons amassing. Green Earth, he will finish the natural, but again, that won't help too much here in the defense. There is a tank on the way, thankfully. Tank is in production, but he needs time for that tank. Now, also my biggest concern, I mean, partly because Green Earth has no vision. He has no scouting. He does not know what's going on. He doesn't know how much danger he's in. He doesn't know that he would have to pre-pull the boys here to help hold, to help survive, because more Dragoons are amassing. Still just rallying across the map. Tank is moving forward. The Dragoons reveal themselves, going for the bunker. Again, no repairs. Bunker is going to fall. Tank shot's going off, but alas, the tank is under fire as well. Yeah, baiting out that tank shot. The bio army goes down. GG gets called. There is nothing to defend, and Prome will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately here in game one, Green Earth, he did scout, he did recognize what was happening eventually with his observer scout, but here in game two, unfortunately, Green Earth, he was in the dark. There was no initial Reaper opener, there was no Hellion follow-up, which usually you would either go for Reaper scout, sorry, SCV scout, if not SCV scout, Reaper scout, not Reaper scout, a Hellion scout, at least in SC2 TVP. Here there was none of that. There was no vision out across the map. You could definitely argue this was quite greedy from Green Earth to open up Reactor Marine straight up into Tech Lab on the factory, into tank production, playing blind essentially against what he was up against, or against Prone. With that, Green Earth, he gets punished, and with that, GG, well played. Prone, he will claim the initial series, will advance on to the semi-finals. Whew. And that leads us here into our next match, into a PvP. We did cover DeWalt last time, but we actually haven't seen too much of a Gunner in StarCraft Evolution, so I'm curious to see how Gunner performs. I say that I think we might have casted him Cannon Rush like once or twice. I think that might have happened, but I might be confusing Gunner with someone else. But a shout out to Gunner. Gunner, he is a lurker in the chat. He does pop up from time to time. Similar to Reality, Gunner is another player that we have casted for many years in our amateur tournaments. In Master Swan Open, I remember casting Gunner and watching Gunner play, you know, back in 2020, 2019. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, so it's great to see Gunner still around, still competing, still improving, still out there, and looks like investing a lot of time, at least, into StarCraft Evolution. Really cool to see. So much love to Gunner, much love. As we're getting into game number one. Jumping to game one. Game one is going to be on Amygdala. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have our StarCraft 2 Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Gunner. land of Ukraine, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is DeWalt. Now, there was a surprising amount of cheese and all-ins in that last series. I'm a little bit concerned that's going to continue here. I'll be honest. We are leading into Amygdala, and Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the tournament map pool. Actually, might be the largest. I don't know if we include maps like Abyssal Reef here, for example, but regardless, larger map. Because of that, longer and later games can be favored here, but at the same time, because of certain mechanics from Protoss, especially SE2 Protoss, having the ability to warp in at proxy locations, we can still commit to something more aggressive. We'll see, as DeWalt does move out across the map. Also, of course, exciting times. We do have a new ladder map pool as of yesterday, which I would imagine also means that our tournaments here are going to be updating their map pools as well, incorporating some of those new ladder maps. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it, whether it's with our regular tournaments or even events like StarCraft Evolution League as well. Always exciting times whenever we get a fresh set of new maps to add, to incorporate. And I guess the most interesting thing to me is going to be which maps get added to StarCraft Evolution. For regular tournaments, I mean, we're probably all just going to swap on over completely and get a fresh new map pool with the ladder map pool, I should say, just go alongside it. But with StarCraft Evolution, it's a little bit different because they only pick and choose a handful of SE2 maps to bring on over. Not everything. Just because they have, of course, their portrait Brood War map. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a discussion had, a process to be had when it comes to which maps will be added and which maps will be incorporated. I'm sure Among Us will be one of them. Este Hyper 1. Effective immediately. Magnatha, Pylon, Amygdala, Frost. Oh no. Oh no. The Hyper 1 influence. Magnatha? Oof. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Very Among Us. Meanwhile, Proxy Robo. So Gunner going for the one base all in does open up a 2-gate into the Proxy Robo across the map. Meanwhile, back at home, DeWalt going for his own 2-gate opener into Expand. DeWalt, he did scout across the map. He did confirm the second pylon is missing. He knows. Oh, he knows what pylon is missing. He checks, he scouts, and he will confirm. He will find this. So far, nice scouting here by DeWalt. He does see this ahead of time. Second pylon on the way just to make sure everything stays powered. And we'll see how DeWalt will respond to this. Now, I'm curious how the defense is going to be here for DeWalt, just because when it comes to defensive robo play, it is weaker here for Brood War Protoss. But of course, Dragoons do make up for that, so Mass Dragoon may just be the answer. We have a third pylon on the way. Make sure everything stays powered. At this point, it's like, okay, you can have all your pylons. Let me just kill the building. Oh no. The building's under fire. We have Stalkers coming in to reinforce, but alas, is this too late? The Robo, it's gonna go down. It's gonna be close. Can he get it? It's gonna be so close to Immortal. It is gonna spawn in, but the Robo will still fall, and that means that there's only one Immortal. Yeah, one Immortal to work with. Robo goes down. From here, DeWalt, he backs off. He does preserve his Dragoons. One Dragoon does fall, but he has a shield battery. Oh no! We'll lose the second Dragoon. Second Dragoon does go down. But last now he only has to worry about one Immortal. And Gunner forced to expand. Ay. Forced to expand, forced to transition out of this. I mean, he can still find some damage. Going for the pylon. Pylon's under fire. Boys are being pulled. And so far, DeWalt, he holds the line. DeWalt's bearing in mind that he does have the faster base. He has better saturation, better production for probes. So the pressure's on Gunner to get some damage done. Backup pylon is done. Backup shield battery as well. And DeWalt, he is holding. Behind this, making 2 Dragoons at a time. Third gateway is on the way for Master Dragoon. Once again, getting a bit of hull damage or a bit of shield damage, I should say, to the Immortal. Oh my god! Takes down the first sentry. Sentry for Dragoon. Oh, going for the Immortal. Getting a little bit greedy. Shield is triggered. With that, Gunner, he does maintain himself, does keep that Immortal alive. Back at home, going for his own defensive Robo, getting to his own second Immortal. Still warping in on the front lines, though. Jeez. Slow warpins, but warpins nonetheless. Dragoon range is done. Kiting back. We have the Citadel on the way. Interesting. I mean, I'm so used to seeing in PvP going into Robo, going into Reaver production. That's not the case here. Going for Zealot legs. Okay. I say Zealot legs. Technically, this also gives you access to the Temple Archives. So we can tick up further from here. So no Reavers, no Robo. More Dragoons building up. Pushing forward. Does have the high ground. Gunner, alas, he has to commit here to save these pylons and also to buy time to maintain map control, to keep Dwell busy. There it is. Temple Archives is on the way. From here, we can go into Dark Templar. True. But upon seeing the second Immortal, now he knows that the Robo was rebuilt. He's aware. Nice snipe. Takes down Stalker. War Prism has arrived. So we hit a reinforce. We're up to how many Dragoons? 11. Up to 11 Dragoons. There's 2 Immortals though. Nice force fields. Catching out 1, catching out 3. Oh my god. 3 Dragoons go down. Very nice control here by Gunner. We spoke about the Dark Templar. Dark Templar's on the way. But alas, DTs, they shouldn't just end the game. Gunner, he has access to detection, checking his vision and checking his units. He does not have the Observer, but he has the potential to make Observers. With that Robo. You know, once again, very nice force fields, catching out another 2. And DeWalt, he's being picked apart. Bleeding out so many Dragoons. There's so much riding on these Dark Templar. I mean, they can be used defensively to force his army back to give himself more breathing room. Or does he notice? Oh! Does he notice that shimmer? Forge on the way. DT going to be used defensively. Yeah, going to be used defensively. Forcing back Gunner. Immediately Observers on the way. Should be done in time. With Gunner, he's going to be forced back. DeWalt, he breaks out, going for all these pylons. This will supply block Gunner though. Oh my god. Yeah, 3 pylons go down. Meanwhile, the first DT gets across the map. There is detection though. But he can't warp in. No, he has to recall. Yeah, he cannot defensively warp in. He's supply blocked. Ay, ay, ay. Oh no. No damage done yet though. Recall is forced. DT does go down. But DeWalt, he can breathe. He can breathe freely. Now moving out. Zealot legs are done. Getting to those speed lots. The donors picked it. Este Hyper 1. Meanwhile, DT into the natural, not bad. Slipping in, getting a handful of probes at the same time, and base does fall. Denies the third. Was a cancel. Cancel on the third base. DT still wreaking havoc, getting another 3 probes. And the game will continue despite the hyper-aggressive start, despite the proxy Robo. We're now getting to 3 bases. So we have a third base on the way here for Gunner. We have a third base on the way for DeWalt. Looks like Gunner setting up for an all-in though, going into Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts do not scale amazingly into a longer game, but they do a great job here at buffering and tanking for the Immortals. They're an alternate kind of way. Instead, typically in a standard game, you get into charge, then into Archon production, then into a longer game state. Here at Glaive Adepts, they have a lot of mobility, and again, it's going to be that much more committed. So going mass Immortal, mass Glaive Adept. Again, this has been very trendy as of late, at least in SE2 PvP. As DTs, they do slip in. They get a scout, so they at least see more Adepts warping in, and that is a bit of a tell. That is a tell that Glaive should be on the way. So their role here should be to deal with the Zealots and to, of course, tank Dragoon shots for the rest of the army, for the Immortals. And we're getting up to, what, 6 Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals. Storm as a response. This will be interesting, considering that Storm does hit different here from the side of Brood War. Storm is a rare sight in SE2 PvP, but I feel like it may have its place here for Brood War Protoss instead. Especially against all those adepts. We'll see how hard it hits. We have how many so far? 4. 4 High Templar. Still gathering energy. For some more in an Archon. So down to 2 High Templar. I believe there's 1 Storm. Yeah, currently 1 Storm. Ooh, Archon gets caught. And the Archon does go down instantly. And once again, nice force field zoning back the army. And DeWalt just cannot break through. Shows that Storm. Storm in the back line, grazed the army, but nothing major. Yeah, that was the only Storm. And with that Gunner, he's done it. He breaks through that defensive line. Catching out most of the Dragoons, forcing his way in. And DeWalt has nothing left. I mean, yeah, GG gets called. Nothing left here. Gunner, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Impressive. Gunner does take a lead. Again, like Gunner, he is a little bit of a lower ranked player compared to DeWalt, but does fight back, does put a point on the board, and does start off with a win. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very aggressive and assertive start, but of course we did switch gears, getting to a longer macro game. We saw how difficult it was for DeWalt's army to actually deal with not just the massive mortal, but the force fields. I feel like the force fields were the MVPs there for Gunner. Time and time again, we saw him catch out and just pick that army apart, getting 2, 3, 4 stalkers at a time, and there was just no answer there for DeWalt. Unfortunately, that's most likely where the Archons come into play. That would have been the answer to break those force fields. But remember, the first Archon was sniped before the fight really began. So there was no way for him to deal with those force fields, to try to deal with that aspect of the fight, and GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into Frostline as game number 2, and we'll see where this leads us. I want to see Geralt versus DeWalt. Oh no, not like this. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, switching races on us. Okay, we have the Ukrainian, usually Protoss, but the Ukrainian now Brood Wars. Oh, 12 play. God damn it. The Brood War Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes going for the 12 pool. It is a Gunner. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, down in the series. We'll see if he mounts back. We'll see if he can recover as he's going for the low ground setup. Oh my god. I mean, sorry, my brain was still PvP loaded. I was like, he's crazy. Even Max Max doesn't do that. Standard opener. It is DeWalt. I'll be honest, I just woke up. I was like, low ground in PvP is crazy. But it's like, no. ZVP. Going for the 12 pool, going for that hatch block as well. So Gunner, he does move out. Pool is almost done. Drone is rocking up, and he will be able to hatch block. I'm curious if he goes for the wall here, and it looks like he will, disrupting the wall of DeWalt. So the hatchery is on the way. Lings are moving out. Oh, DeWalt responding with a Forge, so a strong response here from our Protoss player with the Forge. Essentially, in this early game scenario here, because your production is so limited, it's so difficult to keep up with your opponent supply-wise. We're making 1 Zealot at a time for the time being. We have another gateway in the way. That is where the Forge comes in. That's where the Forge kicks in with cannons as a response. Again, supply is very limited here for DeWalt, so cannons are a good way to shut this down. We can see that Gunner, he is expanding behind this. DeWalt does confirm with it, or he will soon confirm with his probe. Cannons are on the way. Does wall. Probe has yet to confirm. And Zealots. Oh no! It does get surrounded. Lings are coming for the surround. That should not have happened. Zealot goes down already. And DeWalt, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Now going for the shield battery. That does mean the second Zealot is going to spawn in. Oh no. But alas, the wall was not a wall. The Zealot, it was too thin. He had to be thicker, Patty. Oh no. As another hatchery gets thrown down once again to just reduce surface area, make things more awkward. Once again, moving in, more Lings spot forward, and that's gonna be game. That's gonna be game. The final Zealot's gonna go down. The boys are not being pulled, and DeWalt is being overrun. GG gets called, and just like that, Gunner with the upset, takes down DeWalt 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Gunner, he does claim the series, cheesing the hell out of DeWalt. To be fair, game one, we did force a longer macro game. You know, we had 2 base saturation, getting up to 3 base saturation, but did start with proxy robo, of course. Here, 12 pool, just going for the 12 pool, going for the proxy hatch across the map. Unfortunately, the moment that first zealot got surrounded, that was game. That was game then and there. That should not have happened. We also had even another probe there just to make sure that there was some support for the zealot, but once it went down, I mean, what else can you do? He was waiting for the cannon, waiting for the second zealot to spawn in. You could argue that maybe he needed to, or he could have technically pulled extra probes down to the low ground, but again, that initial surround just shouldn't have happened to buy more time to allow for that reaction to occur. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Aye, aye, aye. And with that, Gunner does advance on. And with that, we're now getting ready here for our next series. So far, really fast matches. So far, we've had a lot of cheeses, a lot of all-ins, but hopefully that changes coming into our next matchup. Up next, we have a TVT question mark between Zardiant and Mang Russell. I say question mark because I do know that Zardiant does often switch between Protoss and Terran, depending on the matchup. So we'll see what we get into, as game one is going to be on Frostline. Let's go. Let us go. Could have been a further back core, which would have made it much more secure. Well, yeah. I mean, clearly there was definitely some inefficiencies when it came to the wall there, unfortunately, which did allow everything to snowball out of control. But regardless, GG, well played. That leads us here into our next series, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Brood War Terran. It is Mang Russell. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the pink Terran player, the SE2 Terran for Hokkaido T-Team. It is Zardiant. Hold on, I'll fix his name. There we go. Or Valkyriant. No. SMH. Oh, but here we go. As we are going to be selling it. Oh, that's actually blinding bright. Hold on. Is that like a more tame pink? You know, one of these days I'll set up all the color codes and we won't have this issue. This is fine right now. Here we go. As we are jumping in. Now, Mang Russell, as I mentioned before, as we're going CC first, is a play that I haven't been able to cover too much of as of late. This looks like CC first, 3-rack stim timing, by the way. God damn it. We see it all the time, papi, all the time. But we're setting up for that 3 racks opener, 3 racks alongside Academy, alongside Stim, alongside a Stim timing across the map. This is a build that has been very popular and has been quite predominant throughout every matchup. TVT, TVP, and TVZ. Just go for the Stim timing. Let's go. And hey, I mean, it works. Does work. Aye. Of course, this is a build that has since been nerfed quite often and quite heavily over the past couple of patches, even more so after this event. Bear that in mind. So it's not as strong, as powerful as it was when this event took place. Again, this is a replay cast from events that took place quite some time ago, but we are catching up. And oh my god, we setting up our axes back at home. We do have our own opener as well, going for something more economic. We do see Zardiant going for a Rax expand into a delayed factory back at home. We'll see how he does respond to this, whether it comes to his Hellion timings, tanks, actually going for an early tech lab. Okay, you have my attention. Early tech lab into early add-on swap into early tank production. This I have not seen. So really early tank production here from Zardiant. This might be done in time to defend against the bio push that's coming. Bear this in mind. The reason why I reacted earlier, I was like, oh my god, 4 axes, not 3. This is not your typical 3-rack stim timing. We're getting up to 4 axes. We're going for something much more committed here from Mang Russell. Okay. So this is gonna be much more committed. We have 4x him instead. Yo, we heard you like Raxes, so we put more Raxes on your Raxes. All the Raxes. But again, Zardian is being hyper defensive, right? He saw the initial opener, he did see the initial 3x's, so he responds quite hard with all these tanks. So very early tank production. Bunkers being thrown down as well. Zardian just turtling up as best and as hard as he can. And we'll see if it's going to be enough. I haven't seen this interaction before. I don't know how many Marines are going to be. If the spread is good enough, we might still be able to break the siege line and break the tank line. We'll see. We'll see how this all comes together. Likewise, if Man Russell scans ahead of time, he could try to bait out the tank shot with his first medic. I could try to move in with a medic, tank the shot, then stim in. Scan into the main, reveals the 111, reveals the Cloak Banshee. Cloak Banshee's on the way, does see the tech lab researching. As the army breaks out. I believe there's another scan that he's holding on to. He has yet to scan the natural. So we now have 2 tanks. Both are sieged. I feel like Zardian, he should be okay here. He should be solid. 2 tanks, a bunker. Banshee moves out for a counterattack. 3rd CC is on the way. There's a scan. Does see the tank line? Yeah, he wants none of it. And Man Russell, he will barely miss that Banshee. Banshee gets across the map. There are no scans available, but we do have a blind turret too. I say blind turret. Again, he did see the 111. He did see the Cloak Banshee, so turrets are ready. The Banshee will delay the 3rd CC, because it is on location. There's another scan. Meanwhile, another factory is on the way. Zardian's getting into mech. And he's getting some value here. Let's pick away the army. Oh, we're committing even harder here. We have Cloak, not just Cloak, we have Hyperflight Rotors as well. Getting to Hyperflight Rotors. Continuing his own Banshee production. Meanwhile, getting into mech. Blue Flame Hellions on the way. More tanks. Setting up. Likewise, Man Russell, oh god. From the initial 4-ax Marine into 3 more factories, you have Siege Mode on the way. Getting to his own bio tank. 3rd base getting up and running. Again, because Zardian is being so defensive and so turtly, now is the time for Man Russell to be greedy and to tech up and to mass expand and to try to take advantage of his map control. Do you see Zardian scanning? Does get eyes on the factory production. Now what Man Russell's looking for, it seems to be here, is he's waiting for the move out. And if these tanks ever do move out across the map, he can always stim in. He can stim in for a counterattack. It's interesting, he's not in position to delay the push, he's in position to punish the push. Has Triple Banshee into the main. Will threaten some of these SCVs. Couple of workers are going down, getting up to 5. Getting up to 5 SCVs. Man Russell, he scans. Does see the transfer, moving in. Can he get the tank? Oh! Oh, not quite. No. Not at all here. He gets punished, goes for the dive. Ambitious there from Man Russell. He will bleed out the entire bio army, at least the one harassing across the map. Medics to get the hell out of there. And the game will continue. Again, he saw an opening, he saw an opportunity, but alas, didn't quite get there in time. And hey, now we have to pay the price for all those cheese games, for all those cheeses and all those shorter games that we had leading up to this 30-minute game. let's go. Slowing the game down, getting into siege lines. Magros actually rushing into earlier BC production. Interesting. Much earlier here. This is quite greedy, but we did mention earlier, we spoke about how it's on Mangrussel to punish his opponents for being so defensive and so turtly by mass expanding and mass teching. Now, he didn't rush into a fourth base. He could have. Didn't rush into a fourth base. For now, he's keeping up with the Banshees, but instead is skipping tech and rushing into BCs early on. I believe unscouted. Yeah, so far unscouted. So Zardiant, he has no idea. He's still focusing on tank and helium production. Now this ground army here for Zardiant is still terrifying. Ooh, and he's going for the mass on siege. Mangrussel, I'm sure he's hoping that Zardiant's going to be more passive and more defensive. But now he's moving in. Now he's moving in, mass on siege, pushing forward. We do see Interference Matrix is just barely halfway done, so not quite done yet. But Zardiant is moving out. Mangrussel here on the high ground has the bare minimum to defend. He's vulnerable. We're waiting for the disables. And Mangrussel trying to mass up those BCs, but it might just be too late. Tanks are moving in. And even without the disables, yeah, they break through that defensive line. They're getting themselves the CC. Base force lifts. On top of the CC, have disable the BCs. They have arrived. No anti-air. There's zero anti-air. The BCs, they shut down the tanks. And Zardiant is forced back home behind this, going into Cyclone production. I was going to say that the BCs can chase this, but the Broodor BCs are a little bit different. Again, remember, they are less mobile. They cannot teleport back home to safety. If they move out, they're more committed. As we're making 3 Cyclones at a time. No Vikings, just more Ravens. BCs moving in.
Research complete.
As Yamato is done. Ooh, massive. We go for the mass disable. Yeah, mass disable here on the battle cruisers. Despite that, still moving in. He just tanks it. 1 BC looks like it's gonna go down to the lone Cyclone. Oh no! Oh my god, so close. BC survives. And the rest, they just camp here. They camp the army. Yamato is done. Yamato on the Rave. Jesus, the BC takes so much damage. Wait, Cyclones are cracked. Oh my god. He solos the BC. I mean, the auto turret did help, of course. Oh no, he's hitting another. Wait, that one Cyclone has 2 BC kills. Oh my god. What about everything else, though? What about everything else? The tanks are going down one after the other. Cyclone's getting the lock-on. Lock-on is broken. Likewise, more tanks falling. And we have that ground army supporting here for Mangrussel, is moving out. Still with more BCs building up tanks back at home. And meanwhile, another BC falls. Like the 4th Cyclone hit squad. He's crazy. Get out of here, BC. Get out of here. No, you're not safe. There's 3 Cyclones. Oh my god. The BCs are torn apart. Impressive. What a small amount of Cyclones can do. We have more Cyclones on the way. From here, of course, Zardians are taking another base, getting his southern and actually double expanding. But thankfully for Mangrussel, he did clear up enough tanks. Checking the Unisol side here, 11 tanks. 11 tanks went down. That means that any kind of ground-based push is less effective. Sure, we have a lot of Cyclones, but that's what the tanks of Mangrussel come into play. As he now has his own tank line. Is now moving out. Speaking of Zardian, he does barely miss the rotation. Banshees everyone into turrets. Main army moving in towards the linear 3rd. Zardian coming from behind. Widowmines are waddling in. Up the waddle. They're trying to get under the BCs. There's a scan. Widowmines go down. Tanks, they have the high ground. And Zardian's just outpositioned. The base does fall. Zardian going for the counterattack. Going for the potential base trade or at least catching reinforcements. Try to find any stray units. Gets an SCV. Man Russell turns around. He has a setup here to surround this army. So we have vultures on the way. Ooh, pushing into a tank line. And vultures are coming from behind. Yamato on the tanks. Oh, on the Viking as well. Yeah, Zadi heals plummet in supply. Oh, not bad. Going further on by. I'll be honest, we don't often see slow vultures. Like, I don't know if you notice the vultures are has the boys being. Oh no, the boys are being pulled. 17, 19 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. But iron thrusters has not been researched, so the vultures are a little bit slower than they otherwise would be. I think they all did go down. Man Russell with the surround. Catching out the army. But that was still 24 SCV kills. It shows how far ahead Mang Russell was. He's still ahead in workers, by the way. Like, Mang Russell still has that higher SCV count. That was still insane damage. Meanwhile, another command center goes down. Zardin going for another Hellion run by. Mang Russell fighting position. Ah, nah, he's got tanks. Yeah, he's got tanks. He's fine. Tanks will defend. We have a massive Raven coming in. Oh, despite that, Yamato's are brutal. Going for the auto turrets. Oh god, the Ravens are going to go down. And the Ravens, they need more time. They need more energy. They're not ready for this. These are fresh Ravens. And with that, Mang Russell, he's done it. He's clawed his way back into this. After a shaky start, not going to lie. After a shaky start, the BC rush did pay off. It paid off. Takes down the expansion. At the same time, Hellions, they roast up a mineral line. But Mang Russell, he has done it. Pushing on through. Rotating over towards that natural. And GG gets called. Mang Russell takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Mang Russell, he didn't have the strongest start to the game, bearing in mind that he was being broken. If you recall, he was down when it came to the army supply. We saw mass tank moving out across the map. It was 11 tanks or 11 plus tanks for Zargant as he was knocking down that third. And then the BCs arrived. The BCs arrived just in time to defend. Even then, not the cleanest defense, as they lost 2 BCs early on, but regardless, did clean up all the tanks, did force back the army, did survive, and did snowball from there. GG. GG, well played. Impressive play there by Mang Russell. We're now going to be following him into game number 2, and we'll see if Zardiant can bounce back. Game 2 is going to be on Vermeer. Let's go. SE1 tanks with SE2 graphics are so damn cute. They're nostalgic, probably. They're nostalgic. Hello, Sinister. Hello. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Bom dia. Bom dia. As we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the top right hand corner of Vermeer, we have the Korean Terran player, the Brood War Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is Mang Russell. They changed places. Momento. Man, beautiful. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the pink Terran player, the SE2 Terran for Hokago T team. It is Zardiant. Here we go, and welcome to Vermeer. Vermeer is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, top left, and top right as well. We do have multiple spawn locations, and we'll see how our players do approach this. We did see Zardiant play into Mech last time, but that was with SE2 Terran. We'll see if that continues here with Brood War Terran. We'll see how our players do adjust here. As we do have CC first out of Mang Russell, CC first out of Zardiant. Makes sense because of how large the map is, and because it's a 4-player spawn map, the chances of there being aggression or cheese or an all-in is a little bit lower here. We are safe enough to go for that command center. Technically, you can try to like gamble and proxy in the center of the map and try to look for your opponents, but neither player is really too concerned with that. Mang Russell does fully wall off with these initial 2 Raxes. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. For some reason, I thought the races were switched here, but no, same. So 2 games in a row, Mang Russell playing Brutal Terran. 2 games in a row, Zardian playing SE2 Terran. So Mang Russell can once again go for, yep, the 4-rack sim timing. Same opener, same build, 2 games in a row. So we have our 4-racks. Now, what's a little bit concerning here, in my mind, is that now it's going to be more difficult for Zardian to figure out what's going on. Remember, last game, Zardian with the SEV Scout, he saw all 3 Raxes early on, so he had a very strong response to that, going into the Fast Factory, into Tech Lab, into very early tank production. And by the time this army got across the map, there were 2 tanks in a bunker, and Zardian completely shut it down. He shut down the aggression, he shut down the sim timing, Zardian defended, and the game progressed from there. Here, it's going to be more difficult to scout as Zardian, one, doesn't know where his opponent is going for the cross scout though. Okay, does scout diagonally, but he will only see 2 Raxes. Now, based on what happened last game, he can make an assumption, he can assume it's going to be the same build, and it looks like he's going for the same opener. Yep, Tech Lab into early tank. Okay. So this is a repeat of last game. We have Mang Russell going for the same build, and Zardian going for the same opener as well. SE does confirm Mang Russell's location. Does confirm 2 of the Raxes. And the tank is on the way. Tank is on the way. Bunker as well. So again, Zardian taking this very seriously. On top of that, it is diagonal spawns, which does mean the rush distance by ground is longer. So it's going to take longer for this army to get across the map, to hit that sim timing. And the game will progress. So it looks like the game is set up currently here to get up to 3-4 bases to get into that mid game. I'm curious to see if our players head in that direction in the same way, in the sense that we see mech from Zardian and we see kind of like biotank into eventual mech out of Mang Russell into a rush into BCs. It worked last game, but do we really want to rely on that? If you recall, one of the reasons why it was so powerful defensively, especially, is, as we have a 3CC on the way, is because if you recall, when the BCs arrived, Zardian was knocking down the 3rd base with pure Hellion tank. He had almost 0 anti-air. Speaking of BCs, Mang Russell, true, Mang Russell doesn't know where he is. He scans, he's looking for the base. Speaking of BCs, we have a 2-port BC out of Zardian. He's crazy, oh my god. He's like, I liked your BCs last game, let me do you one better. 2-port BC production here from Zardian. He is crazy, he's insane. Meanwhile, the Bio Army does move out, he knows where his opponent is, and this time, because of the BC production, that means only 1 tank. Only 1 tank this time, instead of 2. So the defenses here are weaker, less Marines as well. Oh, but it is still going to be enough here to deter Mang Russell. He sees the bunker, he does see the tank as well. Yamato's on the way. And Mang Russell, he responds with mass Raxes. Sorry, mass factories, I meant to say. So we have 3 more factories on the way. Mang Russell, he will soon eventually scan the main, he has to. But when he does he spot the BCs? Like, will he see what's happening in the corner of the main base, or will he not? Let's see what the location of the scan is going to be. For now, claiming his 3rd. Mang Russell pulls back. And we should be seeing that scan momentarily. Now, he will have anti-air in the form of all these Marines. That's true. He's making more Marines behind this. There is no armory, so he can't actually get into his own... Oh, production. There we go. Scans in. He does see the researching fusion core. He knows. Whew, now he knows what's going on. Immediately, turrets are on the way. Throwing down as many turrets as he can in the mineral lines. Yep, covering all the bases. Remember, it's 2-port BC, not 1, so it's more dedicated, more committed. Here we go. BC's coming in. Teleporting into the main. There's the first sim. Sims in to respond. We'll chase down the first battle cruiser. Getting it down to half HP. A lot of Marines are going down. Yeah, a lot of Marine kills here. The terrain, the Sim City working against Mang Russell here. Oh, the BC. Oh my god, it's so close. So close to going down. He sims in. He wants it. He wants the BC. 16 HP. Oh my god. Barely out of range. Again, 16 HP BC, bearing in mind the teleport is on cooldown. Armory's done. We have those. I said Valkyrie. Then we have the Goliaths on the way. Scans across. We're making another set of battle cruisers. Mang Russell. Now he did see the floating over expansion. Zardian scans, sees the army. He's getting in position. Moving over with his tanks. Goliaths at home to defend. Marines zooming across the map. But the tanks are in position. Technically, could try to catch this battle cruiser. Oh.
Base is under attack.
And now just avoids. Just avoids. There's the teleport back home. Does teleport away. Marines stepping in. Zardian, he does scan. He does confirm. Oh. Within range of the CC. Oof. And with these battle cruisers, I mean, these Marines should go down. He does target down the base, so it's getting very low. But not low enough. Yeah, with that battle cruisers, they defend. Another one getting across the map as well, but there are Goliaths in position. I'm still making more. Yeah, we're just not stopping. Now, it does seem like Mang Russell's going into his own BC production. We do see the science facility on the way alongside 2 more starports with control towers. So it looks like we're working towards Sky Terran versus Sky Terran, BC versus BC. This is where Ravens can be a big factor as well. As Ravens, of course, they can disable the BCs of your opponent. There we go, 3 more starports. That's going to be a 5 starport setup here from our Pink Terran, from Zardians. Did I say 5? Yeah, getting to 5. Meanwhile, Mang Russell already moving out. Again, I don't know if he can really break this position. He scans, he sees all the battle cruisers. He's at least taking a 4th. Likewise, so is Zardian. My play is expanding. Starports are done. Like I said, we'll zone away the BCs. We'll zone for now. Oh, but Yamato's are going to pop off. Yeah, they focus on the Goliaths. Oof. Yeah, so many of them go down to 3. He does get 1 battle cruiser, but only 1. That is not worth it here, as everything's going to go down. Mang Russell plummeting in supply. He did not respect the BCs. Didn't respect them. As more BCs are building up. As you mentioned, Mang Russell getting into his own battle cruiser production. But again, his anti-air is very limited. And Zardian, he has momentum. He's moving out. He's moving out with 6 BCs. And I'll be honest, I don't think Mang Russell can stop him. Mang Russell, he has 3 Marines and one Goliath. There's no shot. No shot. 1 Goliath, 3 Marines. He's got turrets on the way. Turrets, they can maybe buy some time if they finish in time, but that's not going to happen. They're still in production. BC's moving in. Turrets are being dealt with. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3. 3 tanks go down. Species, they can tank the Yamatos, but there's still more Yamatos that came from. There's still 5 more. And he's going for it. He's going for the Mass Yamato. Oh, teleports away. Didn't commit. Okay. Mang Russell, he holds his own. He's surviving. Still down 40 supply. I do feel like we still have a lot of Yamatos in the chamber here, so we could have maybe sent some of them out. And that's Zardian respecting the army. Does pull away. And he's that step closer here, that much closer to mass battle cruiser. Like, Zardian still has momentum, still has a massive lead. Mang Russell has a lot of catching up to do. at this point, I would say that Mang Russell, he has zero map control. He's stuck at home, and his only way to win this game, I feel, is to fight with the help of his turrets. If he can fight alongside as many turrets as possible with his BCs, with his anti-air, then he can overwhelm, he can overcome, he can maybe like hold on and recover from there. But fighting without his turrets, I don't see that going well for him. And even then, I'm not saying that his turrets are going to be a sure thing, but like that's maybe the best chance that he has. Oh boy. As unfortunately, Mang Russell doesn't know where the army is. So Zadi, he scans, he sees the location of the BCs, he knows, okay, I know where your BCs are, let's head somewhere else. Let's go for the natural. So making his way towards the natural, Mang Russell out of position, he does not see where the army is moving in from. Turrets are going to be targeted down, and he gets one, he's going to get two, he's going to get three, he's going to get all the turrets, SCVs as well. He does force out the battle cruisers. And again, these BCs that will not have support. Oh, teleports away though. Does dodge the Yamatos. That takes down 13 SCVs. Good damage. Again, Zardian, he's avoiding a head-on fight. Getting to 3-3 upgrade. Jesus. Getting to 3-3. Now, another way to help support this army, as we have been focusing on purely BC production, and a big way for Mang Russell to recover, even being down in supply, is lockdown. Ghost and let's go, let's go. Lockdown is going to be, I mean, I would say a superior version of even Interference Matrix, of course, because lockdown does root the unit in place, does disable them completely. And with some well-placed lockdowns, he can shut this army down. He can shut down those BCs, but he needs as many ghosts and as much energy as possible. So he's slowly building up. I do think that Zardian has missed an opportunity. Like Zardian, he's maxed. He's maxed out. This should be the time that he's trading. It feels like he wants to wait for 3-3, but the longer he waits, like the better chance there is for Mang Russell to build up an army. Like again, I was expecting like him to move in and mash Yamato and then teleport away, but didn't Yamato. And Yamato does catch out these tanks though. Nice pickup. Tanks they go down for free. You know, Mang Russell does take down a base. I think the Sakura BCs won a straight on fight. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, or that's why I did mention that I did expect Yamato to be spent and then teleport the hell away. But that has been happening. Like more hit and run tactics, right? Because the StarCraft 2 BC is more mobile, right? With that teleport available, you can commit and you can make use of your HP a little bit more before escaping. But Jesus, now we have how many? Up to 12. Like this, it's taking a little bit too long at this point. Yeah, now we've built up towards a comparable BC count. There was a time where Zardian almost had double the BC count of his opponents. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now, there is going to be some counterplay available. I was going to say that I'm a little bit surprised there's no Raven production, but I guess like the starports have been busy making BCs, so they haven't had room for any kind of Raven supply. What there is, though, are ghosts. So Zardian is going into his own, I guess, a little bit of a mixture here. Some Vikings, he has some Ravens. The ghosts here, their most valuable tool here is going to be EMPs. Now, if we can land an EMP on the go, I mean, true, you can EMP the Yamato away from the BC. True, right? That's something that doesn't exist in SC2 anymore, but EMPs on the BCs, EMPs on the opposing ghosts to deny the lockdown, that can win Zardian to fight. So a lot of this will come down to the positional play here of Zardian, of those EMPs. If he can deny the lockdown, if he can deny the Yamato, then he can pop off. So these ghosts, they got a lot of work to do. The 4 hits got a ghost. He scans, spots the army. Ghost moving in. As Zardian, he's committed. Ghosts are being kept busy. Zardian setting up his own turrets. Valkyrie's moving in. Just some Valkyrie support. Oh no! DPs! From behind! Oh my god, does catch out most of the ghosts. Yeah, most of them do get caught out, but there's still some lockdowns available. Going for the anti-armor. Yeah, anti-armor still does pop off. Valkyries, they do quite a lot of splash damage. Here come the Yamatos. And Yamatos as well. Zardian though. Yeah, he bleeds out too much. Yeah, he's going to be overwhelmed here, even without the lockdowns. One BC gets locked down, but the BCs, they dominate in the sky. Oh my god. As we mentioned, we did expect more hidden run tactics out of the SC2 BCs, but there was no teleports. Did not get away. He committed. And with that, we'll lose everything. And again, only one lockdown went off, I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm impressed by the movement of these ghosts. Like, it was really cool to see him sneak around the army and EMP the ghosts. That was great and all, but in the end, it wasn't a factor. In the end, the BCs still did take it. Behind this, making 5 BCs at a time, but Mang Russell, he has done it. He has done it, he will overwhelm. Oh my god. Yamato's popping up. Yeah, and right now we're just kiting as best we can, but alas, the mass BC has done it here. And remember, these are against 3 BCs of Zardians, by the way. Look at the Yamatos. Battlecruisers are getting low. We get us around. It's close. But alas, Mang Russell, he has too much. He barely has too much. Takes down all the BCs. The 1-2 upgrade. Let's go. He just came in the production. I mean, I say that he's bleeding out a lot of BCs to the Vikings. Ooh, he will lose everything. All the battlecruisers are going to be going down. They're cleaned up by the Vikings. But behind this, we have another wave. We have another wave of BC. He's moving in. He's moving in. As he's going for the kill. He wants to go for the kill. He wants to go for the throat. So he's up against how many? He's up to 13 Vikings. Oh. Catching them by CVs. Still moving in. EMP going up. Nice EMP on the battle cruisers, so no Yamato. Oh, the Valkyries! Oh my god. The Valkyrie AoE is always crazy. Oh my god, catching out some of those Vikings. Valkyries, they do go down. The Sky Terran versus Sky Terran. Let's go. So far, nice kiting here with the Vikings. It's one of those things that very clearly, like, going for your own counter BCs against the BCs of your opponents is maybe not the best idea. Like, these Vikings, they're trading well, trading very well here. Able to stay barely out of range for a time. Sniping 5 BCs. Again, the stick. At the same time, Marine run by bottom right, catching out some of those SCVs. Mang Russell just crippling the economy here of Zardians. Catching out more workers. Back at home, we have more Valkyries building up, less battlecruiser. I should say a mixture of the two to support. As we're up to 7 BCs. Now building up those Valkyries, getting into Goliaths as well. And unfortunately, Zardian, he just cannot keep up. Not anymore. Zardian, he had a strong start. He had a very strong start to the game with his initial BC rush. But alas, he wasn't able to take advantage of that lead that he had. If you recall, we were mentioning how he was maxed out, but he was being passive. He was waiting for 3-3. And in that passivity, Mang Russell, he was able to build up. He was able to overwhelm. Oof. Oh my god, the Valkyrie shots are brutal once again, just punishing those Vikings. Glide zone away. Vikings are going to be dealt with. And Magros is just cleaning up these bases. GG gets called. I was expecting us to finally get to an ace match, but no, never mind. GG, Magrussell with the comeback. He recovers and he will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Magrussell for claiming the series 2-0 for advancing on. But again, a really intense game 1 and game 2. In both games, Zardian actually had a lead. Like Zardian, he was actually in a decent position at the beginning of game 1 and here in game 2 as well with his initial openers. But last he was, you could argue, maybe a little bit too passive here in game 2, which allowed Magrussell to recover, to build back up. Likewise, maybe not making as much use of his BCs at times when otherwise he could, and with that Magrussell he was able to recover, build up to 12 battle cruisers, get into his Valkyries, of course buy time with those turrets. GG, well played. Impressive play there by Magrussell. The tenacity, papi, oh my god, did not give up. And that leads us into our final series of the quarterfinals. Up next, we're going to be having our Zerg versus Protoss matchup between Kot and Reality. Again, Kot, he is last month's runner-up. Is runner from last month. Off of nothing but cheese. I do not expect any macro, I'll be honest. I expect nothing but all-ins out of Kot. And we'll see how Reality is able to handle that. Let's go. As we are getting into our next game, getting into our next series, into our fresh best of 3. Bam. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. God damn it. Hold on. I got you. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frost Sign, we have our American Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Reality. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, going for a 12 pool. No surprise here. We have last month's runner-up of StarCraft Evolution League Code A #1, representing Team Hyper 1 from the land of Hong Kong. It is Cut. Here we go. We have our initial 12 pool on the way. And are we moving out for a hatch block? The answer is no. Okay. So we have the initial 12 pool. And I'm sure Reality is familiar with COT. Like, COT does have a reputation, 100%. So I'm hoping he can prepare accordingly. Here we go, Lings are on the way. Are we going to pull the boys? Yep, we are. I was curious. I was like, if there's no hatchery and if there's no hatch block across the map, then the boys have to be pulled. And the answer is yes. So the boys are being pulled. It's all or nothing. Again, we expect a short series here, regardless of how this goes, whether it goes the way of Reality or COT. I say we're going to be here for like a couple of minutes, and then we'll make our way to the semis. let's go, Bobby. Let's go. And to be fair, if you remember, COT did 12 pool drone pool the hell out of Hero, and did actually defeat Hero in, what was it, StarCraft Evolution earlier this year. I want to say back in like February, maybe January. But did happen. Meanwhile, the drones have arrived, the pylon gets surrounded, there was no probe scouts. Oh, no probe scouts. Unfortunately here, we did go for a blind zealot. At least boys are being pulled, but the pylon is exposed. Going for the main fight, going for the army. Yeah, probes are getting surrounded, Lings overwhelm, second zealot's on the way, and the second zealot may just barely pop out in time. And with that second zealot, can he hold on? It's gonna be close. Pylon does fall. Koti pulls away. Does pull away. Gathering his forces. Again, still quite close. Again, two zealots. That may be enough. As more Lings are trickling in. Remember, there's no more production. True. Yeah, no more production here for Reality. Caught hoping for a surround. He ignores the army, going for the main. That does give Reality the opportunity here to repower. Would try to repower, but he has no income. He has no minerals. There we go. Pylons on the way. As more links have arrived. Oh, that's a lot of links. Yeah, you got not the surround. No, he gets the surround. And that's going to be game. That's going to be game. Zealous is surrounded. And with that, more links have arrived. GG gets called. And Kotzi will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Kotzi does take a lead in this series. And we do expect another 12 pool drone pool coming into game 2. Not going to lie. We do expect it. Oh boy, and we'll see. We'll see if he's able to catch Reality off guard, or if Reality is able to recover. Able to defend. Again, unfortunately, there was no probe scouts, so there was no realization of what was happening from across the map. Likewise, Reality just going for his own gate cyber expand, or gate expand into cyber core. We could see a blind counter. We could see like a gate forge opener with early zealots into a wall off early on, into a delayed expansion. We'll see how our players do open up. Spawning in the top right hand corner. God, they switch places. God damn it. Spawning in the top right hand corner, we do have our American Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can recover, we'll see if he can bounce back. Representing Bing Bong Exports, it is Reality. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have, oh, he's droning. He's crazy. Making workers. We have the Brutal Zurich player from the land of Hong Kong representing Team Hyper 1. It is Guts. Actually making workers, but don't let that fool you, because we still expect an all-in of some kind. 100%. For now, hatch first. For now, is going hatch first. We do see Reality opening up with his own gate setup here. Again, no probe scout, which is concerning to me. There was no probe scout in game 1. There's no probe scout here in game 2. So he has no idea what's happening. There could be a 12 pool. There could be hatch first. There could be gas first. There could be pool first. There could be a plethora of openers here for Kots. And we do see Reality playing blind. Risky, Bobby. Risky. This is a StarCraft 1 mod of SE2. This is a StarCraft 2 mod, I suppose, that does bring together Brutal versus StarCraft 2. So this is called StarCraft Evolution. StarCraft Evolution, it has been around for over a year at this point, but it really did hit the international scene, I want to say like maybe October, September of last year, after that big Chijik event, after that big Korean Invitational. So it has been around for quite some time, and has kind of garnered its own following, its own pro scene as well, its own viewer base, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been very entertaining. Definitely a lot of passion, a lot of dedication put into the mod itself. When it comes to adding assets, when it comes to updating map pools, and of course balancing the game and adjusting and maintaining. Even incorporating, I still have yet to indulge in the, I think the ladder is still in beta. I don't quite recall if it's in full release yet, but there's like a version of StarCraft Evolution ladder that's being worked on to make it a little bit easier to find opponents. So yeah, there's a lot of work being put into the game, into the mod. Do appreciate it. Meanwhile, Kots back at home, going to be opening up with the initial macro hatch and sunken colony. Do you see initial zealot adept moving out here for Reality? There's the most interesting StarCraft happening right now. IMO. Yeah, there are definitely some people with that opinion. I mean, personally, like, we still cast StarCraft on a daily basis, and if we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't. This to us at least here on the CranKy Ducklings, this is just a nice breath of fresh air. As kind of like what we cover in between all the other big SE2 events. And there's definitely a lot to appreciate. Likewise, a lot of the competitors in StarCraft Evolution are also SE2 competitors. Oh no! Oh, is that a kill? That should not have happened. That should not have happened, Bobby. That's a kill in the hatchery, not a cancel. Ay. That is brutal. That's called. We got to bring it together. Gotta bring it together, Pappy. I know that you don't like to expand, but please. Calm down. Going to 2-base Hydra. Bearing in mind there's no lair. There's no lair here. Going to Hydras. Likewise, Reality does hit the third. Does hit the third. Yo, he's hoping. He's like, yo, can I get another kill? Can I get... Oh, no. God, does he know he can cancel buildings? No shot! No shot! Okay, okay. Jesus Christ. God. You need to calm down, Pipe. You need to calm down. Does cancel towards the end, thankfully. Does save this drone. Does get the refund this time. Behind this, there is still no further tech. We are expanding, that is true, but we're building up towards a Hydra speed. Towards Ling Hydra. For those that may be tuning in for the first time, Hydra tech is hatch based, as you can clearly see. Lurker tech is lair based, so if we wanted to go into lurkers, that's when the lair would come into play. But for now, we're massing out more Hydras. Meanwhile, Reality does move out. Did go for his initial robo. Glaives are done. And we'll see if Cole can survive this, as again, he's still massing up a handful of Hydras. Third base is going to be denied for the third time. Lings, they get across the map. There's no wall. There's no wall. They do get in. Likewise, they're shading to the main. Hydra's in position, but that's a lot of adepts, and there's not many Hydras here. They're being targeted down one after the other. Hydras, they may not be light units here, but they're still being targeted down. There's still a lot of adepts. Brutal losses here for Cut. Across the map, he gets cleaned up. Does get the pylon, though. Does get the pylon, but these adepts are getting out of hand. They're getting out of control. Some Hydra's in position, somewhat. Meanwhile, Reality getting up to 6 workers. We'll lose every single adept. And as it settles here, we do see Reality with a higher probe count. He has a better economy, getting a third base up and running, but still continuing with more adepts. And more adepts on the way. Why is there adepts? It's StarCraft 2 versus Brood War. It's a Brood War Zerg versus SE2 Protoss. It is not Brood War versus Brood War. So that's a heads up. As we do see another shade towards the main. This time there is a sunken colony in position. Oh. And this will be a cleaner defense going for the Prism. Prism goes down. Nice pickup. Takes down the War Prism. Lair is on the way, tells us that CranKy is planning on taking up. He does expand here linearly towards the northern side. So getting up to 3 bases, but the drone count is still in the gutter. There's still barely any drones, any workers. Yeah, the economy is not there, but the army is. And here comes the move out. How many Hydras? We have 24 Hydras. Lair is done. Lurker tech is on the way. And do we have much at home to defend? We have 1 Immortal. We have 1 Immortal. We have a handful of Glaive Adepts. Hydras, they start to step in. And remember, there's 24 Hydras. Yeah, they're working their way through this. No shield battery. No shield battery support. The Immortal is going to go down. The counter all-in is just getting out of hand, getting out of control. Again, only on a 2-base economy. But despite the damage being done, Reality, he was not ready. He was not ready for this. The counter has arrived. And there is a Colossus in production, but it's too little too late. It's too little too late here. The third base is broken. The Cyber Core under fire as well. Scotty kites back. Moving in once again. Looks like that Colossus might barely spawn in time, but it's going to be on its own. Like, there's no support. It's going to be no support. Ling Hydra stuttering in. GG gets called, and with that, CranKy will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. CranKy will claim the series, and not the all-in we were expecting, but again, despite losing so many drones, despite losing a lot across the map, he just cut worker production. He just committed to mass Hydra. Again, 24 Hydras with Ling reinforcements, and unfortunately, we saw that Reality, he wasn't quite ready for that counterattack. He had like 1 shield battery on the way at his third base. He had 1 Immortal, but alas, nothing else to really support himself. There were no force fields, for example, especially against an army that is lacking Roach Ravager. That's where something like sentries can come into play to help minimize how much army you have to deal with at a time. or again even just sacrificing the third base overall and making a defense at the natural. But again, I don't think Reality was fully aware of how committed Kot was and how little workers, or how few workers there were across the map. GG. GG well played with that. Kot does catch him with his pants down, and now we are getting into the semi-finals. Oh boy, let's go. Let us catch up here on what has been going on as we switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets. From the top, we do have our two Protoss players. Prome took down Greener, Gunner took down DeWalt, and we have Prome versus Gunner in the upper semifinals. Meanwhile, we have our TVZ as Mang Russell took down Zardiant and Kot took down Reality. So we have our top 4 players: Prome, Gunner, Mang Russell, and Kot. Let's go. We have a top 4. We do have a Protoss confirmed for the finals, bearing in mind that Prome is the reigning champion, so Prome is favored to make a deeper run in this tournament. We'll see if Gunner can put a stop and put an end to him. Again, Gunner, he was hyper cheesy and hyper aggressive in his last PvP, so we expect some proxies, we expect some all-ins out of Gunner. Meanwhile, same can be said for Kot. We expect Kot to be going for all-ins and hyper aggression against Mang Russell. We'll see if he can break him. We'll see who comes out on top, the more macro players or the more cheesy players. Let's go. For now though, we're going to be going on a short break. We are halfway through the broadcast. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be featuring the Protoss versus Protoss between Prome and Gunner. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and get ready for the semis. We'll be back soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. Hup. and welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to our second half of the broadcast. So the semifinals here of the StarCraft Evolution League Code A number 2. We have our setup here. We have our 2 Protoss players, we have a Terran, we have a Zerg, and up first we have our PvP between Prome and Gunner. Game 1 is going to be on Frostline, and once again we will have an interesting dynamic here. We have certain players known for their cheese and known for their aggression, but oh, this is not a PvP, my apologies. We're jumping into a Protoss versus Zerg matchup instead. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing among SE2 people, it is Prome. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent going for the going for the 12 pool. We have the blue Zerg player, the Brutal Zerg from the Ukraine. It is Gunner. So here we go. We are opening up with the initial 12 pool. Again, we do expect Gunner to be hyper cheesy and hyper aggressive and can just commit to the all-ins. We'll see. We'll see if he does decide to pull the boys with this, or if he does go for a hatch block across the map. So far, the initial drone does move out, and looks like he is poised to go for the hatch block. Okay, does move out. Probe Scout is going to be dipping in. Prome, he will confirm the lack of gas, lack of expansion, and he will confirm the timing of the spawning pool. He knows. So Prome, he's aware of what's going on. Back at home, we are setting up. We are going for the initial 2-gate opener here into a wall-off. As the drone is being sent across the map. Again, the goal here is to try to throw down that hatchery, try to disrupt the wall. But because of the scouts, yeah, I mean, there's no room. There's no room for said hatchery. I mean, we can throw it down here to get some better surface area on the gateway. The drone is forced back. Hatchery here as a part of just blocking the expansion. Does block, does delay. And here come the Lings. Behind this for Zelda is being chronoed. A nice Sim City here. This time the Zell will not get surrounded. Not like we saw from reality. Lings, they're flying across the map. Zelda's in position. Second Zelda on the way. A couple of boys are here also to make sure this Zealot doesn't get surrounded. They can also come in and mineral walk past and try to protect. So far, a clean response here by Prome. Things they're going to be going for the Cyber Core. Cyber Core under fire. Ideally, you want to try to force the Zealot out and get us around, but that's what the second Zealot's going to be for. As the Cyber Core taking a lot of hits. Here we go. Second Zealot has arrived. They can protect each other. Yeah, they can and they will. The Cyber Core is getting very low though. Yeah, Cyber Core is getting low and it looks like it will go down. Just barely. He commits and it will snipe it. Oh my god. As again, it's still very close and did cost him a lot of Lings. But the Cyber Core gets sniped. From here we can now expand, and this without that Cyber Core that will delay the Adept counterattack. There is going to be one Adept here coming out, but only one instead of 2. So Gunner, he'll be a little bit safer to drone and to saturate. Also, my apologies. Yeah. Fix up the nameplates. Is Gunner not reality? My apologies. But yes, from here we can set up, we can drone. You can see Gunner double expanding, taking his natural, taking his third, getting his macro hatch as well. But this is going to be a messy defense. Now, typically I would say, oh, he's okay. If he was playing SE2, he'd be fine because he can make a queen. Here, he needs a sunken colony. Without a colony, it's going to be a tough hold with pure Ling. Especially if this was 2 Adepts. Thankfully, it's only 2 Zelts and 1 Adept. So a little bit less to work with. Yeah, there is no colony. This does feel like a bit of an oversight here from Gunner. Things are coming for this round. Doesn't commit. Pulls back, going for the expansion. Nice control, nice movement. Yeah, it does get a couple of extra shots off. Adept is going to get surrounded though. Not quite. Again, does slip away. Zal say protect. There are 14 more Lings on the way. This will clean this up. But can he force a cancel? Oh my god! Oh, he will. Does force a cancel. One Zal gets surrounded, and now Prome has to get the hell out of here. Does have to pull away. He will. Does pull away behind this Prome, establishing his own base. Now, even though Prome didn't kill many workers, he didn't kill any drones, what he did do was force links to be made. These links should have otherwise been workers, so this did do a lot of economic damage. Gunner, as a result, he is down to 20 drones. He's still droning up as hard as he can. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have the lair, I believe. Am I crazy? Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, I thought I saw a lair on the way. It was just a hatchery. Just a hatchery. So from here, we're just droning. Meanwhile, we just see Prome following this up with Glaive Adepts. Oh boy. Glaive's on the way as a follow-up. Gardner's still trying to recover. Link speed has begun. Does pull out of gas, which means no lair, no hydrogen, just pure link. And when it comes to defending and being the defender as the Brood War Zerg player, I mentioned we were talking about sunken colonies earlier. It is standard and it is necessary to defend with sunken colonies because of your lack of queens, and the lack of colonies here, it doesn't bode well. Does not bode well for Gunner. Perhaps they do shave off more lings. They still trade efficiently. Evo Chamber finish it. Oh no, oh god. Gunner, Bobby. Don't let the other one finish, please. Don't let it finish. No, he's distracted. Oh god, no, it finishes. Oh god, yeah, this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. More depths arrived even without glaives. This is just becoming too much. Drones are falling. Evo Chamber is forced to be made, getting up to 7 drone kills. And GG gets called before Glaive Adepts. At Prome, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. Does take the game, does take a lead in the series. Again, Gunner, unfortunately, with a shaky follow-up, almost as if after the 12 pull, he didn't quite know where to go from there. He was like, "What, guys, what I do? What that's when the 12 pull didn't kill him. Oh, no. So again, no sunken colonies for defense, likewise lack of droning because he was forced to make all those lings because of the lack of site defense, and likewise just a shaky defense as well, allowing those Evo Chambers to finish. He just could not keep up. He was trying to work towards Hydrotech towards the end, but again, too little too late. GG. GG well played with that. Prome does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if Gunner can bounce back. As we're getting into game 2, this time we are jumping into a PvP. I believe Gunner has now switched to SE2 Protoss. Yeah, there we go. We have confirmation of spawning in the top left-hand corner of Holy World. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Brood War Protoss, representing among SE2 people in the series 1-0. It is a Prome. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Ukrainian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Gunner. Playing a race he is much more comfortable with. Opening up here, bottom left. As a reminder, this is a 4-player spawn map, and Prome, he's moving out with his probe scouts, and Prome, he will find Gunner instantly. So very fast scouts. Gunner gets spotted. Prome is aware. And Gunner, he's trying to find his opponent as well. He's going to be scouting bottom right first. So he gambles here. Doesn't gamble correctly, unfortunately. So we can see Prome just being as annoying as possible. Being as annoying as he can. So from here he is pulling away. So I'm just dying a little bit. We're good, we're good. Back at home, we do have our 2-gate opener, second pylon, cybercore before expansion, so Prome just being very safe here when it comes to his opener. Likewise, so is Gunner. No one has expanded yet. Gunner does have a reputation for going for nothing but all-ins. I'm sure Prome is somewhat aware of that. And we'll see if Gunner goes for tech. We'll see if he ever does expand. As we have a Dragoon production underway for Prome. Prome going for his own proxy. Oh, never mind. He's going for his own proxy, he's going for his own all-in. And because of the close spawn locations, this will benefit Prone quite a bit. What I mean by that here is that, as you can imagine, there's no warp gate mechanic here. You cannot warp in at a proxy location, so you have to rely on the rush distance by ground. And because we're right next to each other, because of the close spawns, I mean, Dragoons, they get across the map that much faster here, as opposed to diagonal spawns. Meanwhile, we do have the shield battery on the way, throwing down 2 more shield batteries, throwing down the second pylon as well. Prome still rallying across the map. And Gunner, he did scout. He did spot the gateway. He's aware. He's aware. Dragoon's poking in. Going for the shield battery. Oh. Defensive robo on the way for a Gunner. Does have his robo in production for his immortals. Meanwhile, Prome, he throws down his proxy 2 gate setup, so 4 gates in total. And again, proxying that 4th gateway means how much more here, just for those reinforcements. Moving in. Again, Prome is poking forward. Again, because of the extra range here that he's going to have, it's just so awkward for these soldiers to engage with the army without taking some free shots. Like, again, the concave is heavily in favor of Prome. The SimCity working against the Stalkers. This gateway is going to go down. They're trying to break out. Oof. Does attempt to. Stalker goes down. He gets punished. As one Dragoon does fall. Trades 1 for 1. But now he's down to 1 gate. He's down to only 1 gateway. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, the Dragoons, they do start to step in. They take down another Stalker. Decent force fields. Immortal is going to be targeted. Yeah, Immortal does back up. Just barely. Another Stalker gets caught out. Ay, ay, ay. And Gunner just cannot engage, not freely. Oh, depowers the Robo. That should not have happened. Robo gets depowered. The final pylon under threat. Oh, does depower everything here with the natural. Now he's going for the kill. He's moving in. Oh, it takes down the Immortal. And with that, there's nothing left. With that, we're down to 2 Stalkers. GG. Good luck for the next round. And Prome, he will take the series 2-0. He will overwhelm and advance on to the finals. GG. GG, well played. Prome, he will claim the series, will advance on to said finals. Again, a very intense back and forth here, and unfortunately Gunner, he only had his 2 gateways, and again, they were very exposed here to the Dragoons. Likewise, he was investing into an expansion. It was Gunner actually that was expanding, that was taking a natural, not really the play that I was expecting that from, and unfortunately just couldn't quite keep up. Also really unfortunate, the location of the Robo. The pylon was exposed and the Robo was depowered, so he only ever had 1 Immortal without extra Immortals. It was a tough hold. It's a tough hold there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we now have our first finalist, and now we are moving in to our second semifinals. Let's go. Now I'm curious to see if Cuts macros against Terran. I'm curious. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Game 1, Frostline. Let's go. We're loading into Frostline. There was that one game today where we had Cuts, I believe, get into like a 3-base setup. Not economy, just 3 bases. Did happen once. See if it can happen again. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our pink Zerg player. Our pink Zerg player representing Team Hyper 1 from the land of Hong Kong. It is Cut. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player, the blue Terran from South Korea. It is Mang Russell. Again, he had an intense series against Zardian previously with the mass mech versus mech, mass BC versus BC. It was crazy, it was wild. We'll see how this series unfolds as Code is going hatch first. Let's go. Does open up hatch first, is expanding. No early gas, no early pool timing, not yet. Likewise, CC first out of the Terran. So we're calming down, we're settling in. Again, Kot's aggressive style might just be very matchup dependent, whether it's against another Zerg player or a Protoss player. That might be more of what does enable that aggression and those all-ins. For now, hatch, gas pool, standard opener out of Kot. As we settle in. Meanwhile, no surprise here. I mean, we've seen this time and time again whenever we see our Brood War Terran player. This should be 3-rack stim. I say should be. In the TBT that we had previously, we did have 4-rack stim. So, Mang Russell, he has adjusted. He has played around with how many racks as he throws down. We'll see if he goes for a third. I mean, he will go for a third. We'll see if he goes for a 4th racks. We'll see how committed and how aggressive this is going to be. So, this is going to be a stim timing here from Mang Russell. There it is, 4th rack. So it's going to be 4-rack stim out of our Terran player. As opposed to the TBT, we can be incorporating some fire bats with this against Zerg. Can be very effective. Kot moves in, and Koti will confirm the wall off. He will confirm the wall. As more Marines are going to be amassing. We do have a roach opening here out of Kot. I was going to say that there are multiple ways to defend against this. So there's 2 major ways that we've seen so far, either going into defensive roaches or going into a defensive Baneling Nest early on. The Baneling defense is really risky just because it's also reliant on your opponents overextending into creep and not splitting and not target firing the Banelings. But if they can control well, then we have seen Baneling defense at times fail. Roaches, I feel like, are a little bit more secure, a secure way to shut this down and to survive. So Roach Warren has been placed. Kot's fanning out. Roach is going to be amassing. And Kot, he does cut workers here actually quite early. I would say that these roaches are too soon. Like, we need a 3rd base, more drones, more saturation. Making these roaches this early on does entail that Kot plans on going for his own all-in, actually. Okay, I mean, sure, makes sense. It is Kot. He's going for his own all-in. So this is less of a defensive Roach Warren and more of an aggressive Roach Warren. Okay, here we go. Meanwhile, we do have Stim still on the way. What's important here? No scouting. No SCV scout, no nothing from Mang Russell, so he has no idea what's coming his way. And God, he can pull this off. Ravagers are going to be morphing in. Remember, no bunker. There's no bunker because there's no scout. Oh, supply block as well. Now is not the time. Yeah, brutal supply block. Medics are on the way. We'll see if Kot can pull this off. We'll see if he can break his opponent. I mean, the wall here will buy time and will allow him to react. And it's getting more deepers. The first wave of medics have arrived. And the roaches, they reveal themselves. He knows. Roaches are revealed. Bunker thrown down instantly. More Marines on the way. As the first racks should lift. Or will just be targeted down. Roaches move in. Remember, there is no stim. Biles here on the bunker. First medic does get targeted. Gets a first medic, gets a second, gets a third. Third medic goes down. Just 1 medic left. Oh, there's Stim. He stims in. He shuts down the roaches. He shuts this down completely. Cleans up all the roaches. Takes down the Ravager as well. Yeah, there's no escaping this. And what did Mang Russell lose? He lost 4 SCVs. Only 4 SCVs. And, of course, the medics, which is quite impactful, actually. That was 3 medics going down. A handful of Marines. A stronger defense here from our Terran player. And this is where we're concerned for Kot. Kot, now, he is droning up behind this. He's droning, he's saturating. He's now making an extra wave of roaches. But even though he's now droning up, he was working on a lower drone count for longer. So his economy here is still lacking. So the pressure is still on the Zerg, on Kot. Here we go. We have more Raxes on the way. Jesus. My God. Throwing down extra Raxes. Getting up to an 8-rack setup. Scans across the map. We're just going mass Marine. Because we see the roaches, of course, and the fire bats are not necessary. Just pure Marine medic. That's all we need. Actually moving out. The bio army as well. Dust him forward. Dust him in, clearing up some creep. Creep is being cleared. That's cutting back here against the roaches, getting 1, getting 2. Oh, getting 3. And trading minerals for gas. Bear that in mind. Cod still trying to drone up. And Cod, he should be fine here. Like, he shouldn't be broken at this point. But he does trade out roaches and a queen. As he does hold the line. And this is a 2-base all-in. Like, we're setting up for an 8 racks 2-base all-in here. Mass Marine, 1/1 upgrades. Now, Cod is going into Lingbane Roach Ravager. Good call. As he's up against a very Marine heavy composition. So Banelings would be ideal, but he's not there yet. Oh, we just pulled the ball. We just came in. Let's go. We did mention this was a 2-base all-in, but the boys are going to be pulled. It's all or nothing. For some reason, there's a 3rd CC on the way. Again, despite pulling the boys. So a little bit, a little bit indecisive. Getting some mixed signals here, but regardless, let's go. Man Russell, he commits. And pulling the boys actually makes sense here just because there's no Banelings. If there were Banelings, then that's why you never see the boys being pulled in TVZ. But against roach-based compositions, then the SCVs, they can tank. They can tank quite well. They can tank against those roach shots. And there we go, boys being pulled as well. Marines, they kite back. They shut down the workers. Roaches are coming in from behind. He turns around, he can take down the roaches as well. More boys being pulled, and Man Russell, he will cripple the economy. Yeah, SCVs, they do reposition. Now buffering for those roaches. And he's done it. He's done it. The roaches, they just crumble before the bio army. Banelings are already in time. GG gets called. And with that, Man Russell takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A crazy setup there in that first game, just committing here into the 2-base all-in. We saw that a lot of roaches went down early on, and despite droning towards the end, again, the workers were late because of the initial failed all-in from Cut, which put him in a rough position. He was punished. He was punished as he was trying to recover. He was trying to work towards Banelings, which would have been ideal, but they just were not ready in time. GG. GG, well played. With that, Man Russell takes the lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Let's go. It is going to be Cut's choice here with whether or not he wants to commit into SE2 or Brood War. Looks like he has made his decision. Cut is committing to StarCraft 2. He's not switching. But we have changed colors though. God damn. There we go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Amygdala, we have our pink Zerg player. A pink Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong, representing Team Hyper 1 down in the series. We'll see if he bounces back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Cut. And spawning into the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the Brood War Terran, leading the series 1-0. It is Man Russell. Here we go. Oh, hello, Lunacy, hello. Buenos días. Annyeong haseyo. Annyeong. So now, we are opening up. Hatch first. Once again, hatch first out of Cut. Let's go. No early gas, no early pool, not yet. And now this can still lead into early roach aggression, but I would suggest against it here as we are loading into Amygdala. Amygdala, of course, being one of the larger maps in the tournament map pool, or at least in the SE2 tournament map pool. Longer rush distance by ground. These ground-based pushes, they're going to be a little bit weaker. I'm specifically referring to the roach aggression or the roach all-in that Cut had gone for previously. Meanwhile, we do see that Man Russell most likely going for the same opener. Actually going Rex first. Oh. Interesting. Very safe play, I would say, out of our Terran player. Usually we do see CC first instead. Going Rex into Factory. Okay. Yo, we got some builds. Now, this could be a rush into Ion Thrusters, into Vultures. This could be a Vulture rush, which we have seen from players like Bjorn in the past. So I'm leaning towards, early Machine Shop and into early Ion or into early Vultures, but we'll keep an eye on our Terran. Overlord Scout is coming in. The Overlord will confirm the delayed CC and the faster Factory. A much more aggressive build from the Terran. As we are setting up. Caught behind this once again. Early roach horn. Same setup. Same start. Ooh, 1-1-1. Is opening vulture first. That'll be for scouting. But this I was not expecting. Okay. Going for the straight up 1-1-1 here. I feel like there's opportunity here for cuts. We'll see what's gonna be made after the initial vulture. We'll see if we go for the shop. We'll see if we go for something else. There we go. Yeah, machine shop is on the way. We'll see if we go into like early siege mode for an early tank, or if we go for early vulture upgrades into mech. That's also why the starport's throwing me off a little bit. If it were to be mech, I would have expected a second factory. Rushing into a... What is happening? Rushing into a science facility? Okay, are we going into a BC rush? What? Vulture moves out, and he will not get the scout off here. The Vulture is denied. We're rushing into siege mode early on. Vulture does get eyes on the third, a bit of a later third base is what I will say, but he does not see the roaches. He does not spot the roaches here. Yeah, control tower's on the way. This has to be BC's, right? Okay. As this is done, I mean, I guess technically we could rush into like a science vessel, which would be kind of weird. Be a bit odd. As the tanks are getting in position, remember early siege, we have the initial wraith opener to zone away the overlord. To deny vision, deny scouting. Now, based on what COD sees, technically this could be like a cloak wraith opener, right? Like the equivalent to cloak banshee. Just because he hasn't seen the science facility. So he has limited scouting, oh my god, limited information. The first tank does get piled down. And behind this, the wraith has arrived. Second tank's on the way. Machine shop is going to be targeted. Yep, there we go. BC rush. Again, the science facility did scream BCs. BC's on the way. And again, the Overlord Scouts is not enough. Like, everything here looks like Wraith Opener, more or less. Back at home, COD has been droning. COD, he only opened up 3 Ravager. Did not commit as hard this time. So COD, he's droning as hard as he can. Overlord gets hunted down. Third CC is on the way. And we'll see what this BC can get done. Oh boy. Here we go. The Vulture does move in, does confirm that droning is occurring, does confirm the saturation, spores are being thrown down, but again, this is to defend against the Wraiths. And we're going BC opener into mech. So more factories being thrown down. I appreciate that Mag Muscle is mixing it up. He is mixing up his builds. BC's moving in. Let's go. Battle cruiser is operational. We're headed towards the main. And BCs, they pack quite a punch, by the way. They can be pretty intense. We will have a second BC, double armory, double upgrades. I'm also looking to eventually secure his third. But there are plenty of queens, there's plenty to transfuse. When I say plenty, I mean one. Yeah, BC is going to be zoned away. Queens, they will hold, they will defend. The BC should not go down. But likewise, doesn't kill anything, really. It kills one drone. One drone goes down. Queens, they hold their own. They do hold their own here. Likewise, going into spider mines, into more vultures. For the first time tonight, we might actually get the mid game. Like, it's something that we just haven't really experienced. We've seen a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, a lot of rushes. We have not really seen much 3-base versus 3-base at all. Wraith goes down. We have the Academy on the way. That's going to be for scans, for the comsat stations. As we have the Spire as a response here to the battle cruisers, to get into Corruptors. And the game is going to slow down. At this point, now we're droning. We're just droning, we're just saturating Koch from here, just getting into proper 4-base saturation. Likewise, we have Mang Russell building up his tank count. Walling up and walling up. A very heavy tank army as well. There are very few vultures. There's like 3 vultures throwing down and scattering around some mines. 4th command center's on the way. More factories. More production. And so far we have a decent setup coming into the mid game here. I would say that Kots has the opportunity to take up into Hive. So I will say the infestation bit is a little bit late here for Kots. So that means later Hive tech. Later Hive upgrades. That is my one bigger. There we go. That infestation's on the way. Now it's on the way. Now it's working towards that. Towards the Hive, towards Adrenal. Getting into Ling Roach, Ravager, Corruptor. And breaking a defending player here on Amygdala can be very difficult, as this map is known for longer in later games. Just see a little more macro on Amygdala than on many others. Roach is moving in. Piles popping up, almost getting a tank. Almost. Still have more workers on the way, more drones. More saturation. And we'll see if we can break in. There are 2 tanks in position. Yes. We have the tanks in position. Goliaths as well. Cody's going to try to break through. Takes down a Goliath. But there's plenty of tanks here. And with that, we're fully walling up. We're fully walling off. Again, Mangros is just turtling as best he can. And this map does favor turtle play. Ooh, as we have some swarm hosts. That I was not expecting, but I do like that against a more slower style. Against battle mech, swarm hosts are less than ideal, but against a more traditional mech composition with mass tank, this can work well. So I'm liking the swarm hosts. You could argue they're a little bit late. I think I would agree with that. As we do pick up 2 of those tanks, but we bleed out a lot of roaches in the process. Oof. And as roach count gets lower, these vultures, they will soon gain map control. Defense matrix on the Valkyrie to hold the line. More roach Ravager being forced out. Caught, he's maxed. He's maxed out, and we'll see where he sends his first Locust Wave. We can either head towards the natural base, or we can head towards the northern base as well. Going in between will be a little bit too difficult on this map. But we need to gain some value here. A tank line, a CC. Locust Wave is moving in. And it's headed for the tanks. Taurus will slow this down. There's Mass on Siege actually going for the CC. Oh, and can he get it? Oh my god, he barely can. CC does go down. He gets 1 of the tanks. He gets 1. He gets 2. 2, 3, 4 tanks. Oh my, the value. Mang Russell completely out of position. 4 tanks and a base. Very nice Locust Wave. Momentum now in favor of Kot, and now he has to keep that up. He has to keep that going. Now, as he's knocking down tanks, as he's knocking down bases, as he's gaining value with these swarm hosts, we're making 2 BCs at a time. Making 2 battle cruisers at a time. We have triple starport production underway. So as amazing as this damage is, we're working towards Sky Terran. And that's where swarm hosts and roaches is going to be less effective. That's where we're going to need more corruptors, infestors, neural, fungals. Mainly neural, really. As the CC gets denied once again. At the same time, Mang Russell double expanding, going for the center gold. Roaches, ooh, they do run past the tank. Oh god. A bit of mispathing there from the Zerg. To see the mass scan here out of Mang Russell, searching for bases, trying to get a better read on what's going on. Roaches, they rotate. Oh god, and the roaches are being shut down. Mang Russell, he's maxing. He's maxing out in the Locust Wave, taking down the base once again. Does force a cancel. Getting up 1 tank, getting up to 2, getting up to 3. Can they get 4? He can. 4 more tanks. But you can see here that we're replacing those tanks with more vultures, a more mobile army, and more BCs. Like Bang Russell is refining his composition with more battle cruisers. Oh, it's another denial. So these are good run-bys, these are good counterattacks. I mean, we are crippling the economy, but Mang Russell still maxes, so has a terrifying army. And my concern here is when it comes to a head-on fight, what do we have to defend? We have 5 Corruptors, we have mainly Roaches. Corruptors are going down, by the way, one after the other. What is the answer to the mass BC? A bit of an overreaction going for the defense matrix, but it's all good. BCs are moving in. We have 13 Corruptors on the way. No Infestors. Stormhost local save. Collapsing on the ground army at least. BC's trying to hold their own, targeting down the Queens. Yeah, Queens are going down one after the other. Jesus, that one Valkyrie tanking so much. So, defense mission, it lasts so long. Meanwhile, again, those 13 Corruptors are coming in. At the same time, more BCs catching reinforcements. And catching up more Corruptors. COD's just being torn apart by the 2 groups of BCs. Oh, do we have another defense matrix? Again, no defense matrix here. BCs are falling. Meanwhile, the base does go down. And we do see COD trying to counterattack, getting desperate. More battlecruisers moving in. Now, COD, he will win this initial fight here against the BCs, but again, there's a second army. There's a second group moving in. Not the best control being caught here on some gas guys, being caught on some eggs. BCs are being dealt with 1 BC at a time. Yo, we got to consolidate the army. And COD should hold. Yeah, he should hold here. Again, a bit of miscontrol from Mang Russell. Wasn't able to bring it all together. Losing all of his battlecruisers. And behind this, going into Mass Goliath. I mean, true, he forced out all these Corruptors. So now Mass Goliath on the way. I love how flexible Mang Russell's being with his army. Roach is moving in. BC's a kite back. Another BC is going to go down. Remember, no more science vessels. Goliath safe made it through. BC's a pullback in time. And even though Mang Russell, his base is being denied, once again, he has the gold. He was able to claim that gold base. So he has an economy. Likewise, he has a more efficient army as well. We still have 11 more Corruptors in production. Uh-oh. There's 2 Roaches. This is all the Roaches. 2 Roaches here, a handful of Lings. Again, maybe an overreaction here, making this many Corruptors. 18 Corruptors against what? Against 3 BCs. What about the ground army? As Mass Goliath is moving in. Yeah, and COD, his ground army is lacking. Mang Russell, he can take a fight. He can move in. He can win this fight. For now, they're playing it safe. He pulls back, claiming another expansion. Now, this is giving COD time to build up Roaches. He's up to 6. It's still not a lot of Roaches. COD's going into Roach Hydra. We have 7 Hydras on the way, with some upgrades. No Hydra speed, just Hydra range. Oh, meanwhile, Ling's getting caught out. Oh, Roach, oh no, the Roaches as well. There's all the Roaches. We have 20 Hydras in production. Okay. Going into Mass Hydra. I want to say they can fare decently well against these Goliaths. I would imagine. Again, there's only 1 tank. Oh, that 1 tank though, holding on. Corruptor's trying to catch reinforcements. Tank is exposed. Corruptors do catch some Valkyries. They catch the science vessel as well. Oh my god. A massive Valkyrie shot's going off though. Aye, aye, aye. Corruptor's getting punished. BC should not escape. Oh my god, it shouldn't, but again, there's no Hydra speed. Yeah, no Hydra speed. BC does barely get away. But Kots, can he break him? He's close. He's so close. As we're going for almost a base trade at this point. Kots pushing in towards the natural. That Masculite to defend. At the same time, the main army pushes out across the map, going for top left. Kot trying to break through. Stutter steps in, going pure Hydra behind this. 15 more Hydras on the way. And without tanks, the Hydras, they can break through. They cannot trade the Goliaths. That boys are being pulled. Goliaths trying to make a stand. Meanwhile, across the map, oh, there's still a lot of Goliaths. Jesus. In my mind, Hydra should win this fight. But we'll see. As there's still 17 more Hydras in production. I mean, the Hydras are not fighting all at once. Ah, he's being overwhelmed. Yeah, there's just not enough Hydras here. Again, the rest of the Hydras still on the way. I say that, Lings, they tank well. They tank very well. And Cod holds. Cod, he holds. He shuts down the army. Takes down all the Goliaths. Behind this man, Russell, he doesn't really have much of an economy. He is hurting and he needs tanks desperately. Now he's going back into tank production. Again, tanks so he can thrive against this. Oh, yo, we got a minefield. Uh-oh. Jesus. There's a minefield set up from earlier. Mang Russell is holding on. Kot, he's maxed. He's on 91 drones. He has an economy. He's long distance mining mainly, but he's sustaining himself. Denying mining at the gold. Oof. A lot of SCs going down. And now we're going back into BC production. Mang Russell, he needs time, but he needs a lot of time to try to recover. Rocks are knocked down. Lurker Den on the way. Kod's rotating over. Oh. Ooh, brutal connections. Leading out a handful of Hydras at the same time, Starter stepping in. He's going to be brutal losses, losing a lot of these vultures, but the Hydras are cleaned up. Behind this, a second wave of Hydras. Again, at this point, it's almost pure Hydra. It's 31 Hydras, 4 Lings, and 2 Corruptors. So it's pure Hydra at this point. No detection. Oh no! Oh my god. Oh, the one does connect. Only one. That was so close. But here got more. We have brutal connections. The Hydras do detonate. Tanks, they hold the line. And again, it's on Magnum Russell here to just defend and to turtle and to survive. To have lurkers on the way. Interesting decision going into lurker tech. I mean, lurkers, they can at least deny mining here at the base. They can deny mining, they can help contain. But lurkers are not really going to help when it comes to breaking these siege lines. That's where Corrupted Broodlord would have more success. Speaking of Broodlords, yeah, there it is. Greater Spires on the way. But like, this is a big investment going into this Hydra Lurker army. I'm not in love with it, but at least he's maxed. He also has a bank to work with, at least somewhat. Not the biggest gas bank, but enough for a remax. Vulture's moving out for a run by. Hydra Lurker rotating towards the right hand side. This is missed. Mang Russell is not fully aware. Yeah, the tanks are exposed. Yeah, he's going for the tanks. Yeah, massive pickups. He gets 1, 2, 3 tanks go down. Getting 4 tanks as well. Yeah, Mang Russell just out of position. Yamada's popping up. Oh god, the one lurker. No detection. No detection. Jesus. These PCs, they trade quite nicely against the Hydras, actually. It's insane. Yeah, Hydras, they melt here. Again, a much more efficient trade here by Mang Russell. He holds, he fights very efficiently. But he doesn't have a gas bank. He doesn't have a bank to work with. He has to break out. 20 more Hydras on the way. Do we have another scan? Oh, BCs are exposed. One BC goes down, and so will the other. Cody's done it. At this point, he's done it. He catches his army out in the open. And Mang Russell, he should lose all this and the base. GG gets called. Cot, he fights back. He puts a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Cot forcing the ace match again. Mang Russell, unfortunately, he did overcommit, I would say, to Goliath. When he went into Mass Goliath against the Mass Hydra, we saw it took him so long to get back into tank production. He was just overly committed to Mass Goliath, and with that, he was taking some worse trades. More importantly, though, it came down to the bases. It came down to the economy, or I should say the lack of economy of Mang Russell, where he was losing base after base, mineral line after mineral line. He could not build up a bank to work with to sustain himself, and that was Cot's win condition, just making sure that the bases were knocked down time and time again. GG. Whew, GG, well played. With that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3, and we'll see how this story ends, as game 3 is going to be on Vermeer. Let's go. Okay, we're getting to Vermeer, a 4-player spawn map. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have the pink Zerg player, from land of Hong Kong. God, they changed colors again. God. Hold on. There we go. To represent Team Hyper 1, it is Gut. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the StarCraft 2 Terran. It is Mang Russell. We go, as this is a 4-player spawn map, and we have loaded into horizontal spawns. Okay, so we do have close by ground and close by air, so short rush distance here. Aggression can be favored now that we have these close spawns, but we'll see how our Terran player does embrace this series, as so far every game he has played Brood War Terran, so for the first time we're going to be able to showcase his StarCraft 2 Terran instead. Go. So players are building up. So now we are going to be saturating, going to be settling in. From here, we do see Cot moving in towards the top left. He's going to be scouting for his opponent. Unfortunately, we'll scout. Well, I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer here for him to confirm the location of his opponent, of Mang Russell. Likewise, going for his own setup. Racks expand. We go. Meanwhile, we have our macro hatch on the way here from Cot. We haven't really seen Cot's mid game when it comes to Brood War Zerg, but there we go. He's going for his own sunken colony. He's setting up defensively here, and he should be secure against early game aggression. From here, he can expand, he can saturate, look towards the third base, and build up towards the mid game as he continues to scout. Likewise, Mang Russell scouting top right does check and does not find his opponent yet. Both players still searching. Both players still looking. Meanwhile, we just see a Rax expand out of our Terran player. Ooh, into double factory. Uh-oh. Second factory this early on. This screams battle mech. This screams early Cyclone, early Hellion. There's the add-on solve for the initial Hellion production. And we just see Mang Russell being hyper aggressive here. Oh boy. Go. So now he's building up. Again, I'm waiting to see if this is going to be for early Blue Flame or early Magful Accelerators. So I'm curious to see what upgrade you do go for. As Link Scout is denied. And what do you have for us? There it is, Blue Flame. Okay, we have the answer. Early tank production, no battle mech, no cyclone production, just tank, Hellion, and Blue Flame. Meanwhile, Kots, he did barely see the second factory. He is somewhat aware of what's going on. In the end, Kot, he does fully wall off the natural. Nice, SimCity. Does fully wall off. That means the Blue Flame Hellions, they can help us into the mineral line. But they are barely out of range of the colony. Okay, out of range. They head for the third. Third base under fire. Meanwhile, we do see Kot rushing to a lair. Oh my god. With a fast lair, we have a couple of options here. This looks like Muta play. So Ling Muta out of Kot, which is concerning because the Lings, I don't really see them doing too well here against the MS Hellion. As Blue Flame is almost done, more Hellions are amassing. It's going to be pure Ling to defend early on. As the tank has arrived, getting within range. I thought the tank was going to be more defensive, but no, it's actually just routed across the map instead. And it's going for the hatchery. Going for the hatchery here, still just full rallying. Mass Hellion behind this. Second tank is on the way. And we have how many Lings to defend? We have 25. 25 Lings. Now, there's no armory yet, so no Hellbats, just Hellion. But with Blue Flame. Oh god, god, like Lings, how do they engage? They're gonna try to. They're coming for the surround. Hellions, they kite back. And the Lings, they do get on top of the tank, but alas, the Hellions, they roast them off. The tank will survive. Ay, ay, ay. And that's all we had. That's all we had left. Yeah, 0 Lings remaining. The base has been broken. Drones are lining up. They get roasted. GG gets called. And Mang Russell will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Bold move by Kot. He was trying to rush into the lair, trying to rush into Ling Muta. Sorry, I think I was saying Ling Hydra earlier, but Ling Muta with the Spire tech, of course. No Hydroden, no Hydra production. Without Ling Hydra, that was going to be a brutal hold, and it was a non-existent hold against all those Hellions. GG, well played. I don't think he was really expecting the tank. The reinforcing tank caught me even out of left field, just because it did mean that the wall was not secure. The wall was being broken. I think he was most likely expecting Cyclone and Battle Mech, of course, which is a little bit more manageable at times. But with that, GG, well played. Mang Russell will take the series, does advance on, and now we are getting into the grand finals. Let's go. We have our finals setting up. As you can see, we do have our results coming in. So Prome took down Gunner 2-0, Mang Russell took down Cut 2-1, and now we have our grand finals TVP between Prome and Mang Russell. It is going to be a best of 5 series here between them. It's going to be that best of 5. Oh. Of course, Prome is the reigning champion. He is the reigning champion, and he is, of course, the previous StarCraft Evolution League Code A winner. Mang Russell, I don't think he was a part of it. I don't believe he was a part of the previous tournament. But he's here for the finals, and we'll see how he compares. Let's go. As we're going to be loading into Game 1, we're going to be loading into, once again, Vermeer. We're here. We're back. We're back here for the finals. Curious to see how his TVP compares to his turn versus Zerg. Especially against a more mech-oriented player. Assuming we get into the mid-game, we'll see. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Vermeer, we have our South Green Protoss player. We have the reigning champion. It is Prome. Go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, as we have diagonal spawns, we have our South Green Terran player, the Broodwar Terran. It is Mang Russell. Let's go. Let us go. Coming into this, I do lean towards Prome here, but that's only because I haven't seen as much of Mang Russell. Again, we've been seeing him on the brackets, but I haven't been able to feature him too much on the channel yet. So now we're here for it. Now we are ready. Jumping into that TVP, CC first out of our Terran. Name is kind of sus. I don't know what you're referring to. Don't know. Catch you in the chat. ¿Que eres peruano? Are you Peruvian? Sí, sí, soy peruano, papi. Soy peruano. Soy peruano. Sorry if I haven't been responding to chat. Sorry. Classic SE, yes. I kind of classic StarCraft. But sí, soy peruano, papi. Soy peruano. But here we go, we do have our initial openers. Once again, we are expecting to see a 3x stim timing out of our Terran player, but with cross spawns, Prome will have more time to react, more time to respond. Actually, Prome opening up 2 gates. Okay, let's go. 2 gate opener out of Prome. Much more aggressive here, much more aggressive. Delayed expansion. And we planted his cheese. Meanwhile, 4 racks out of Mang Russell going into 4 rack stim. He's moving out. Ooh, okay, no expand. Prome is moving out. I believe he plans to set up for a proxy pylon. Twilight Council's on the way, all on one base. It's time for the one base all in. Now, first things first, Prome, he has to find his opponents. He has to find his Terran opponent here. There we go, 3rd gateway. We have a 3-gate blink setup going up to a 4-gate blink, I would imagine, with that proxy 4th gateway. But it all hinges on finding the opponent first. Now, how does 4-gate blink compare to Master Marine? Good question. There's going to be a little micro potential here for Prome, and I do favor him against this army, especially pre-stim. The problem here is that stim is a ways away. The academy is not even thrown down yet. So no academy yet, no stim. Prome is moving out. And it's going to be an interesting hold here for the Terran. Here we go. As Prome, he dips in. Yep, he does find him. He's aware. Shows a proxy. There it is. Pylon gets thrown down. Gateway's going to be on the way. The academy is in production. We have 9 Marines so far. Stalkers are amassing. We're going to have slow weapons available. Blink is still not yet done, being chroned as we speak. Medics are on the way. Prome, he will now reveal himself. Now, I appreciate that he's only revealing 2 Stalkers, which is not too suspicious here at all. The rest of the Stalkers are being pinned back. He's keeping them pinned. If he had revealed everything, he would have forced a bunker response. So no bunker, as it's only 2 Stalkers. So everything's looking manageable so far, when really it's anything but. We have more Stalkers amassing up behind this. More weapons on the way. Remember, Mang Russell, he did not scout across the map. But stim is almost done. There's the scan. There we go. 3rd Stalker gets revealed. Prome is still intentionally hiding all his Stalkers, waiting for a blink. He's waiting. There we go. 4th Stalker now rocking up as well. God, he's selling this so well. Oh god, but here we go. Blink kicks in at the same time as Dim. Sim is done as well. There we go. Rax is under fire. Now everything gets revealed. Takes out one of the Raxes. He gets 1. Gets a medic. Medic goes down to 2 medics. Straight down to 3. Nice wing control so far. Does wing away. And so far, the single Stalker has gone down. Bunkers are on the way, but they're not going to finish. Nice snipe. Once again, nice wing control as well. Trading with the bio. So many Marines fall, and Prome, he's done it. He's breaking his opponents. Boys are being pulled. Bunker is almost done. But at this point, it may not matter. At this point, it may just not matter here. As he denies the bunker. And there's nothing left. Again, Prome, he's trying to... he's scared. There we go. There's the final scan. GG gets called. And Prome will take a 1-0 lead. GG. Whew. Again, I love how he hid the all-in. I love how he made it look like a standard opener. He was intentionally just keeping his Stalkers at bay. Again, if he'd shown his hand too soon, then the bunkers would have been thrown down earlier, and they most likely would have finished as well. So it was all planned there to just hide the build for as long as possible. It also helped that Vermeer never scouted. He never went for any scout whatsoever. We saw scans at the very end of the game, of course, just to find his opponent at the end. But he was playing blind with that GG. GG, well played. That dripping of Stalkers was so sick. It was so sick. It was so intentional. So good. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Holy World, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the now Brood War Protoss, leading the series 1-0. For among SE2 people, it is a Prome. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player, the South Korean Terran. It is Mang Russell. That's pretty sick build, the way, so yeah, 100%. I loved it. Like, it all came into play. And again, it was also partly because Mang Russell didn't SCV scout, right? He didn't scout, he wasn't aware at all that there was an all-in coming. He was relying on whatever was showing up at the natural, of course. And yeah, Prome, he just was selling the story. He baited him. Baited well. It's beautiful, beautiful. He sold it back. Whew. As from now, we're calming down. We're setting up here. Welcome one and all to Holy World. Of course, Holy World is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in at any corner of the map. Likewise, you have a pretty secure 4-base setup. You have your natural here on the high ground. You have your hidden, you have your third base here behind the main, and you have a potential 4th base as well. So all kind of secure bases behind this initial location, behind this initial choke point. But the natural is on the the main base is on the low ground, a low ground main, and we have seen a lot of players struggle to defend against all-ins, because if an all-in hits, if an all-in takes over the ramp, then it is so difficult to push up the ramp and to protect your main and to break out of the contain. Speaking of, double gas opener, double gas racks into a faster factory, delayed CC from Mang Russell. Meanwhile, Prome going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Economic standard opener out of Prome, something more aggressive here from Mang Russell. Now, with this double gas opener, with this faster factory, this can lead into a 1-1-1, this can lead into Cloak Banshee, this can lead into an early tank drop, can lead into an early Cyclone drop, can lead into Reactored Reaper Hellion. Reactor is on the way, so we can go Reaper Hellion here. For now, SCV is moving out, and he is looking for his opponent. So Mang Russell does move out. Behind this, reactor is now done. There we go, we have the 1-1-1 setup. Interesting. Okay, so no Reactored Reaper and no Hellion production. So 0 Hellions, 0 Reapers. We're going for Marines. That's going to be an early tech lab. From here, we can go for an early tank, drop. I mean, sorry, it should be early tank because this is a 1-base all-in. So 1-base all-in from our Terran player. And again, this should be for the tank. There we go, tank is on the way, into medevac, into early drop. Meanwhile, we do see Prome back at home. He has been found. He has been found by the SCV. And it is Prome who was not scouted. Prome is unaware. Oh. Oh god. Do we have any translations? He's like, I found you. Ah, get ready for a macro game. God. TT. I understand that. He's sad. Hold on. Okay. So, fun fact, Mang Russell, he said, why didn't you scout me? He's like, hey, why didn't you scout me? And he responded with, I think he responded with, like, I saw your build before. Like, TT. So, yeah. I mean, there is no scout, right? There is no scout. Is no setup. And that might just kill Prome, by the way. Prome now is fanning out, trying to figure out what's going on. He does fan out, and he will find this. He will come across the all-in. Here we go. The tanks are revealed. I assume medevac, my apologies, going into Liberator, just pure DPS, as much DPS as possible. Now he knows he's going to try to slow this down. Nice kiting so far with the Dragoon. Remember, no stim. All the gas is being spent on tanks. And so far, kiting well. Picks up Marine after Marine. Oh, one of the Dragoons is getting low. Oh, one Dragoon goes down. But he's shaving off that Marine count very nicely. And now there's 0 Marines. He's going for the tanks. He gets one tank. It's falling apart. It's just falling apart completely. Both tanks go down. Liberator as well does bleed out a couple of Dragoons. 3 Dragoons fall, but that is the end of the all-in. That was everything. That was what? That was 6 Marines, 2 tanks, and 1 Liberator. Oh, and this is an unfortunate expansion here. Mang Russell, he's accepted his fate. He knows he can no longer all in, but this is a very late expansion. He's down 10 workers. This entire time, Prome's been mining. He's been mining from 2 bases. Now moving in. Tank is in position. The tank will hold. The tank will hold. Mang Russell, he will defend. And Mang Russell's in a rough position here. Now he's rushing into Stim. Stim is on the way. He does peel off a couple of units here, going for a drop towards the main. Prome, he does miss the drop. Bearing in mind there's no defensive recall or anything like that. And Prome, he's rallying everything across the map. He has very little to defend back at home. He'll have his production. He has to rely on buildings being produced from the gateways. Likewise, moving in. I mean, it's a double-edged sword here. On the one hand, Prome has nothing to defend. On the other hand, he has enough to break through. Yeah, it breaks the... And we spoke about this earlier. He has to defend a low-ground expansion, which is crazy. Oh, Prome turns around for a moment. Does turn around for a moment. But again, like, Mang Russell is on the low ground, is contained. For those that are curious, there is a mischance when firing up a ramp into a point of elevation or into hidden tall grass. Oh, full medevac goes down. Oh god, the medevac goes down. Prome, he defends, and Prome, he contains. And he doesn't have to push down, by the way. Prome, he can just chill. He just chill on top of the high ground. And again, we've seen this position before in Holy World many times, where if you lose control of your own natural, like, how do you expand? Tank shots going off. And all Prome has to do is contain. Contain, taking a third base as well. And a peculiar third, is what I will say. There's no gases here. The gases are on the other side, but sure. Expands towards top right. Going for a Citadel. From here, you can go into Zealot Legs, or you can go into Storm. And then Temple Archives, DTs. All is available here. Throwing down extra gateways. And yeah, there's no breaking out of this. We can see the Prime is just making sure that there's no hidden expansion on the right hand side either. Knocking down those rocks. Forcing is going to be spread thin. Oh! Oh my god. Trying to get within range. Rocks are going to be knocked down. And now he's spread further out. Oh my god. As we do overextend, this is, yeah, big overextension here. Dragoons are going to be falling. We did not need this. Prome, calm down. Calm down, but calm down. Just contain. Just calm down and contain. That's all he needs to do. Still massing out more Dragoons. We have Zealot Legs in production. No other tech. So there's no tech into Storm or Temple Archives. Just pure Gateway Army. Which makes sense considering there's no gases at the third. So reinforcement with Zealots, Mineral Dump, I should say. Is he within range? Barely not. How is that not within range, actually? What? Barely not. Likewise, takes down a medevac and a tank. Tank goes down. Not like this. Oh, he does sneak out though. He skirts around the right-hand side. Thank you, Prome, for opening that up. Oh, moving in. Prome doesn't notice. Late reaction out of Prome. Marines, they sim in. Yeah, Dragoon's gonna be going down. Better fight here from Mang Russell. Sims on forward. And with that, it looks like he will break out. It's still close though. Still very close. He's running out of Marines, running out of Bio. Zealots, they do trickle in. Now we get some kiting. Now he starts kiting back. Again, barely out of range of the tanks. But Mang Russell, he does barely not. Barely not. No, the tank is exposed. Tank goes down. And Prome, he always broke out. He traded very well for himself. He was able to sneak up on Prome. But the advantage was just too great here for Prome. Takes down the final tank. Down to 4 Marines, down to 3. 3 Marines left. And still just rallying in. GG gets called. There's no way to break out, and Prome will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very solid performance so far here by Prome. Game 1 going for his own cheeky one base all in. Here in game 2, we saw Mang Russell try his own one base all in, but as we saw, even though it didn't get initially scouted, we saw that 3 Dragoons is all that Prome needed. He saw the army in the center of the map. He was able to kite it down, picked away 6 Marines, 2 tanks, and the Liberator. It was insane how much damage he dealt with those kiting Dragoons. And that was game. That was game then and there, as with that, he lost control of the map, he lost control of the natural, he lost control of the game. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game 3. And the pressure's on. The pressure's on. Prome needs one more win here to claim the series. Mang Russell has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this, as we are loading into Bloody Ridge. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss, the Brood War Protoss. Representing among 82 people, it is a Prome. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player, the South Korean Terran. Down in the series, down heavily. He has to fight back here right now to make a series out of this. It is Mang Russell. Yo, actually scouting. Let's go. After that last game, after the attempted one base all in, we do have the probe scouts out of Prome. Does push forward, and we'll get eyes on the setup. Nothing crazy yet. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the norm. Welcome one all to Bloody Ridge. Bloody Ridge is an interesting map, is what I will say. Is relatively secure on 2 bases, kind of. I mean, there's high ground that can be taken advantage of. The 3rd base is more isolated, more off on its own. A little bit more vulnerable, I should say. And the 4th base is very much so out of the way. So we've seen a lot of difficulties when it comes to players actually getting to a longer macro game on this map. We expect earlier game aggression, like early to mid game. We are building up. So far, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. I say that 2-gate opener here out of Prome, so 2 gateways into a cybercore. We're setting up for the proxy. Yeah, no expand, no oh, actually, what are we going for? Okay, proxy. That probe was throwing me off, Bappy. I was like, yo, is he gonna expand? No shot. So we have 2 gates at home, and we should be going for a 2-gate setup across the map. This looks like a 1 base 4-gate Dragoon all in. We have seen this already here in this broadcast from Prome. We saw this in the PvP earlier. Shows the gates, I'm assuming. Actually, waiting for the cybercore. What do you have for us? What do you got? Meanwhile, back at home, it is going to be, I believe, concussive shell. No, marauder opener, no concussive shell, just singular marauder here. Double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC. Here come the proxy gateways, and I believe this should be 4 in total. So 2 at home, 2 across the map. Zella pokes in. Zella does confirm how late the expansion is. Now, because this CC is so late, it may never finish. As the SCV is going to be zoned back, we have a cyclone on the way that will help defend. As Dragoons are rallying. There's the 4th gateway, so again, 1 base 4-gate Dragoon all in. Bunkers on the way. Cyclone has arrived. Oh, the Marauder's gonna be targeted down. Oh, the Marauder does fall. Cyclone taking a lot of hits. Oof. Yeah, nice control so far. Pulling back those targeted Dragoons. Yep, there we go. The CC, it's gonna be cancelled. There's no saving it. There's no saving the CC. Again, it's just too little too late. Cyclone does get repaired. More Dragoons are amassing. And momentum is in favor of the Protoss. But we are getting into a 2nd Cyclone. Bunkers on the way. Now the question becomes, from here, once he sees this defensive setup, does Prome expand and just back up? Or does he commit? And the bunker's not going to finish. True. Cyclone is exposed. There we go. Second Cyclone has arrived. Now he's got 2 Cyclones. Oh, boys are being pulled. Cyclone does get a lock on. And the Cyclone will be able to take down one of those Dragoons. He gets 1, he gets 2. Oh, just barely. 2 Dragoons go down, but now there's only 1 Cyclone left. We have a tank on the way. It's halfway done. I think he's been broken. I think he has been broken here. He's down to half a Cyclone. Oh no, it goes down. Overextends. And that's it. That's all that was left. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are falling. Tank is almost out. But even if it pops out, the damage has been done. This is critical damage. The tank has made it, but I cannot escape. It's pinned against the wall. Not like this. I mean, the Marines, are they going to be able to survive? For a moment, at least. As he bleeds out 18 SCVs. Nice kiting once again out of Rome. Yeah, GG gets called. And with that, Prome, he will take the series 3-0, becoming, once again, back-to-back StarCraft Evolution League Code A champions. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A lot of aggression, a lot of cheese, a lot of all-ins here tonight, but Prome, he does claim the series. Very well done. Unfortunately, Mang Russell just wasn't able to pull off that defense. He did have the tools to defend, I would say, when it comes to preserving his Cyclones, but unfortunately, he did overextend. He never finished his bunker, and even if he was able to hold on to his main base, I mean, as I mentioned before, even if he secured his main, we could have seen just an expand out of Prome and gone into a longer macro game from there and just focus on containing his opponent instead. Regardless, GG, well played. With that, Prome, he will claim the series. Again, no SCV scout out of Mang Russell. Once again, it's been quite often that we don't see SCV scouts. Did SCV scout on Holy Worlds, but only on that map. And with that, congratulations to Prome. Oh, congratulations. As did he drop any maps here? He did not. Okay, undefeated, 2 0s and 3 0s all around. So very impressive display there by Prome. Meanwhile, Mang Russell, he did actually falter a little bit against Kot in that longer macro game on Amygdala. Honestly, I would say that game was maybe the highlight of the broadcast. I mean, I'll be honest, Mang Russell versus Kot and Mang Russell versus Zardiant as well. Those were the highlights in my opinion. So I do recommend checking out the VODs if you missed it. That TVT between Zardiant and Mang Russell was crazy. We had a lot of comebacks, and I'll be honest, Zardiant, he almost brought Mang Russell down. I know it's a 2-0, but in both games, Zardiant, he had some good opportunities and some good chances and some solid moments. So very close, very clutch. In the end, Mang Russell did make it to second place. And of course, Prome as first. Whew, and with that, that is going to wrap up our morning broadcast for the day. I say morning broadcast, the only broadcast of the day. Now, usually we only have half a day off each week, but this week we have 2 half days off. We had Tuesday evening off and Wednesday evening as well. Saturday evening we don't have off. As you can see there, Hatchery Cup is actually at midnight, so we are going to be covering Hatchery Cup Saturday evening, coming into the Brazilian Sacrifice Circuit. Tomorrow we're going to be live with the CranKy Pro Series. That is going to be a best of 9 between Sham and Special. Oh, El Juanito against El Chamaco. They're going to be facing off in that best of 9, so do look forward to that. And I believe we also have a best of 7 between Su and Bian? I'd have to double check that, but in StarCraft Evolution League. But yes, we're going to be featuring Su, so we do have the CranKy Epic Series and the Pro Series back-to-back. That's going to be tomorrow, so look forward to that. For the best of 9 in SC2 and best of 7 in StarCraft Brood War. Meanwhile, we have the Pondcast tomorrow evening as well. We have Kung Fu Cup StarCraft Evolution Friday morning. We have Lily Cup Friday evening. We have KSL Hatchery Cup. We have the Brazilian Sacrifice Circuit and Sparkly Tuna Cup as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the horizon. What I will say though is that there's also something else, something special Saturday evening after we finish casting Lily Cup. Fun fact. It's been confirmed. It's been confirmed. I'm more than happy to say this here. I am going to be competing in the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts. Shout out to Roddy. Roddy, he reached out to invite us over. That is why I've been laddering very diligently over the past week. It's only been like a week of ladder, but we've shaken off a lot of the rust. You know, we're getting back into form, back into shape. I don't know who I'm playing against. But we will be competing regardless. yet to be determined who my opponent's going to be, whether it's a Protoss, Zerg, or Terran. Once we find out, then we'll actually try to like come up with some builds, or find some builds, I should say, for specific matchups. Until then, just common ladder play. I'm hoping for a Protoss. I'm hoping that I can kangaroo a Protoss out there, but we'll see. Regardless, exciting stuff. I can't remember the last time I've actually played in a tournament. It's been a long time, a very long time. Maybe in a Lima League back in like 2016 or 2017, or no, I would say more recently, maybe like in 2020-ish or 2019, maybe like in Oceanic Pond League. It's been a long time, so it's exciting, you know, a little bit anxious, but we'll do our best. Whether win or lose, we'll do our best. We'll do our best. We'll show some good games for the fans. And because of that, we're going to be laddering. Right after the stream, I'm going to go live on my own personal channel. I'm going to ladder. Again, something that I guess is going to catch us a little bit off guard is that we do have a new ladder map pool, so I have to get used to the new maps as well and figure out like overlord positions and scouting patterns and all that good stuff, and proxy locations as well to scout for. So it's gonna be, yeah, it's definitely gonna be an intense week preparing for said big rain bouts on the new map pool. But yeah, exciting stuff nonetheless. Exciting, gonna be fun. Gonna be a fun time, regardless. Oh. Special versus champ, yes. Juanito versus Chamaco. That's gonna be tomorrow. It's gonna be tomorrow. But otherwise, thanks for watching. If you're only here for Pro StarCraft, again, our next broadcast is gonna be tomorrow with the show matches, with the Enki show matches. Do look forward to that. Otherwise, I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. The next StarCraft Evolution Code A is gonna be, I believe, next week, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that. Un momento. Actually, sorry, it's gonna be this Saturday. Gee, we have so much this Saturday, actually. Oof. Yes, the next StarCraft Evolution Code A is gonna be this Saturday. We won't be casting it live because we're casting the Hatchery Cup, right? Like we're covering the Hatchery Cup and the Brazilian circuit, so we're probably gonna be catching up on replays of Code A next week. So next week we'll be slotting in those replays, and we'll be covering that then, as we usually do for Code A. So yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate it, and we're going to be heading off for the time being. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more StarCraft 2 content, then we of course are live on a daily basis, at least once a day, usually twice a day. Again, we're going to be live again tomorrow. You can follow us on all the social medias, !socials in the chat, to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings. Likewise, we also have a Patreon as well. Our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments, to fund our weeklies and monthlies on a regular basis. It is all done via Patreon, so you can support us there if you wish. Otherwise, following and watching is the least that we ask, and thank you so much. Shout out to also the people that work behind the scenes on StarCraft Evolution. I believe there is a command in the chat, !SC Evo in the chat, and you'll get a link to the Patreon for Team Kaprulu. These are the people that do work on the assets and work on the balance and work on porting maps. All the stuff here to maintain StarCraft Evolution is done via that Patreon. Again, there's a hardworking team working on it. If you do want to support them, if you enjoy the mod, if you want to support the progression and the maintenance of the mod, and of course the evolution of StarCraft Evolution, then the Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, thank you so much. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be heading off for the time being. I'm starving. It is 1 p.m. and I would like to quickly grab something to eat. very quickly. So I'm going to go and quickly get something to eat, and then we'll be live with some ladder, with some StarCraft 2 ladder. I'll do my best, Papi. Do my best. Hope you'll enjoy. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, Papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.